Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world. Pull up a chair. It's time to get down to the business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black, coming to you here on this Friday evening because a couple of things happened and I wanted to take this as an opportunity to address it, put it in its proper context so that you actually understand what you're looking at. Now, earlier this week, I believe it was, this week or last week, there was a statement made by the rapper Ludacris. He was talking about R. Kelly, and he made the statement that he loves R. Kelly, but he doesn't trust the man around his daughters. That's off a bunch of tongues a-wagging and whatnot. Couldn't help but notice that there were a disproportionate number of females who were expressing outrage about it and whatnot, attempting to distort what the man meant. And what he meant was that he separated R. Kelly's music from R. Kelly as a person. And saying R. Kelly's music, yeah, didn't have a problem with that. But R. Kelly as a person, yeah, I got issues with that. And so that was where it was coming from. Pretty understandable. But you're noticing at this point right now a bunch of females, and understand R. Kelly, the allegations against him of sexual misconduct with minors go back to the very beginning. But his audience base, mostly female, his audience base, which is mostly female, were the people who were standing behind him for all these decades. So then you have to ask yourself, well, what in the world happened here? What in the world changed? And I would like to let you know exactly what it was that changed so that you can have this in its proper context. Very important for you to know what happened. Why is it that the females turned on R. Kelly? After decades of supporting him and decades of being completely aware of everything he was doing, why did they choose to turn on him after all these decades? And the answer is very simple. R. Kelly committed the unforgivable sin in the eyes of women. Oh no, the unforgivable sin was not abuse of women. It wasn't even abuse of children. No, the unforgivable sin in the eyes of a female is failure. Robert Kelly was okay in their eyes. He could do no wrong so long as he was a success, so long as he was winning. They didn't care what he did. So long as he could provide benefits, so long as he was succeeding, he was okay. But you can follow the trajectory of his album sales and his female support. The line, both of those tracking lines are parallel to each other. When his money was fat, when his fame was big, when he was on top, there wasn't any information that we had in 2017 that we didn't have in 1997. None. There's nothing that we found out in 2015 that we didn't know in 2005. Nothing. So what happened? What changed? What changed was you fell off the scene for a few years, some new talent came in, and this time you were unable to overtake them. You were not able to pull out a win. You weren't able to succeed, and the women immediately went to work punishing him for failure. They do not. You don't follow their lead, they follow yours. You don't follow the lead of women, they follow your lead. And when R. Kelly started failing, he was done. When he was unable to maintain the success, when he was unable to continue his line of accomplishments, then it was over. It was over. And now he's being pilloried and being impugned, and they don't care if he dies in jail and everything else. The same females who were supporting him for years. Remember the chick who put up the $100,000 to bail him out of jail? Remember? Even she turned on him, remember? Remember that? Even she turned on him. Put up 100 G's to get him out of jail, and when he went back in and it didn't turn around quickly enough and he wasn't recovering fast enough, even she said, pull the plug on that nigga. Can I get my money back? I want my damn money back. He ain't gonna win. She thought she was betting on a sure thing. She figured it's only gonna be a minute before he's back on top again. There's some secret stash of money that he's gonna be able to dig into, and y'all all gonna feel stupid because you all bet on the wrong horse. You cut your bets too soon. You should have stuck with a sure thing. After all these decades, he knows what he's doing. Right? After all these decades, he ain't gonna fall off. Right? Right? Think about that for just a few moments. The unforgivable sin was not abuse of women, minors, drugs. Fellas, the unforgivable sin in the eyes of women is failure. The unforgivable sin in the eyes of women is losing accomplishments. The unforgivable sin in the eyes of a woman is the inability to produce. You see, when you sold platinum records, you can't go to selling 50,000 copies. That ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna be able to keep the women's loyalty when you were selling platinum records and now you selling 40,000 and 50,000 copies. That's not gonna work. Not gonna fly at all. And I want you to understand how these things work, so you can understand why you see the reactions that you get. A lot of you are trying to be in denial of reality. I'm here to slap you stone cold in the face with it. When you take a look at the numbers, you can see over there on the right below where it says label, when you go down the line there, you can see the numbers. And the numbers ain't really where they need to be. When you take a look at it, the numbers aren't really where they need to be. That's the problem that you got there. The problem you got is that it ain't really where it need to be. Everything was okay, kind of okay. At least he was able to consistently crank out 500,000. He was consistently able to sell 500,000 copies there for a pretty good stretch. And then he got to The Buffet, that album called The Buffet. He had been gone for a few years fighting charges, but this time things had changed. He put out The Buffet, and now you only sold 39,000 copies. And when that happened, they turned on him. When that happened, they let him know now any lingering resentments that we've been harboring, now it's safe for us to just go ahead and let you have it. It's safe now for us to do it. Remember what I've warned you all of. Remember what I've warned you. That women don't leave because they are uncertain of what's going to happen. They don't leave because of uncertainty. They leave when they feel that they are certain of what's going to happen. When they feel like they know what's going to come next. When they feel like you don't have any new surprises and you're not going to be able to show them anything that they haven't already seen. When women feel certain about you. When they're certain that you've peaked. When they're certain that you're not going to be able to do any better than you're doing, they cut and run. That's when they leave. That's when it happens. I'm saying some brutally frank, brutally honest things to you right now. But I want you to understand the environment in which you live. I want you to understand what the real rules are. I want you to understand what the rules actually are. Because a lot of you are trying to play by the wrong damn rules. And you don't understand the real standards that they have for you. And let's just be very clear. It wasn't just women, it was the whole society. As long as you're winning, people are gonna roll with you. You're the king. As long as you're winning, people are gonna roll with you. That's just it. That's just it. Even if they know for a fact that you've done something, quote, wrong, immoral, illegal, they gonna roll with you as long as you're winning. But as soon as you stop winning, as soon as you stop succeeding, as soon as you stop being able to produce, then all of a sudden, that's when the folks are going to let you know what they really think. That's when the knives are really going to come out for you. That's when the knives are really going to come out. Then you're going to find out what they really believe. But they're not going to do it as long as you're winning. That everybody can overlook whatever your flaws are as long as you're not failing. They'll overlook your flaws. You can get a pass for damn near anything. You can get a pass for damn near anything. But if you start failing as a man, you have to understand women punish failure. Women do not accept failure. And her definition of success is something that will migrate and evolve over time. It's something that will migrate and evolve over time, and you have to understand when women think that they're with a guy who is succeeding, they reward success. But if they feel that you're a failure, then they are immediately going to get to work punishing failure. Now, she's not going to tell you this. A woman's going to say nice little cute, flowery, sweet things. Oh, baby, you know, you got potential. I know he's trying. Fellas, you are the dumbest idiot in the world if you believe that a woman is with you for potential. She is not with you for potential. She is with you for results. And the moment that she feels certain that your potential is never going to turn into results, that's going to be an issue. That's going to be an issue. You're a damn lie, Rhonda. with all due respect. You riding with the fella as long as he's producing, keep it 100. You from Chicago. She gonna ride with him as long as he's producing. If he's producing, she gonna ride. As soon as he stops producing, she's gonna start auditioning his replacement. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. If you're from New York, that ain't no better. Hoes in New York stay juggling dudes. In any case, Kiara, if you start with that double standard stuff, girl, find a new verb. Find a new vowel. Find a new part of speech. I know they don't like it because I'm saying this right now, but it's time for fellas to be aware of what you're actually dealing with. Women do not have loyalty to men. They have loyalty to accomplishments. And the more invested that she is in your accomplishments, the more invested that she is in you. Now, there's where the real problem comes from. Too many fellas try to get people to be invested in you personally. That's a fool's errand. That's a fool's errand. A lot of you are sloppy, moist, silk-wearing dudes. Because you're trying to get people to be invested in you. And then you can't figure out why it is that that investment is never consistent. There is no way to invest in you. People can invest in what you do. You don't have intrinsic value. I'm speaking to the fellas right now. Fellas, you don't have intrinsic value. You don't. I know a lot of you hate to hear that because you don't have any skills, you don't have any abilities, you don't have anything that you're able to contribute to the world of value. So you're like, damn, I hope my nappy black ass is worth something. No, it's not. You are only worth what you are able to produce. That determines your worth. That determines your worth. Intrinsic value is a delusion that unaccomplished and failed males attempt to impose on the world, and then they break down in frustration and tears and tantrums when it turns out it doesn't work and they get stomped all over, and then they want to go out and go buy blow-up dolls because females won't play that game with you. A woman doesn't play the game of intrinsic value with a man. Once she realizes that your intrinsic value will not translate to tangibles, at some point she's going to wake up and start moving on. No, that is untrue in the chat room. That is not true. Women and children do not have intrinsic value. That is not true. Women and children have indirect value, not intrinsic value. This is something that a lot of people get messed up over. And while we're sitting here talking tonight, I guess I can go ahead and get into that as well. But no, women and children do not possess, quote, intrinsic value. They actually do not. A woman's value is going to be determined, as I've told you all many a time, by the man that she chooses. The children have value dependent upon whose child they are. That's going to determine the children's value. They don't have intrinsic value. They might have intrinsic value relative to the man, but only under the circumstances. They might have intrinsic value, but only under the circumstances. So no, women and children are not simply born with intrinsic value. They gain their value from the quality of the man that they are associated to. They gain their value from the quality of the man that they are associated to. That's why Oprah Winfrey's quote unquote wealth ain't never mattered a damn. It's not actually connected to any man. There is no man to validate it, and to the extent that there is, he's not a man who validates anything. He's a man who is validated by her, which only drags down the value of what she does. When a woman gets a man who has no accomplishment value, she's basically got a male blow-up doll, is what she's got. She basically has a male blow-up doll. Can a woman gain value through her own accomplishments? It depends. Take a look at the man that she is able to attract and keep. That's going to determine if her accomplishments have raised her value. Take a look at the man. Because a man isn't going to be dependent upon a woman's accomplishments. So once again, it's going to come back to taking a look at him. That'll let you know how valuable it is or how valuable it isn't. But that's what it's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and open up the telephone lines here now. Got a lot I want to cover, but I want to go ahead and just start stacking up the phone calls here now. It's a Friday night. You ain't got a damn thing else doing. Time for you to get game the hell up. Time for you to get game the hell up. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933, your personal access code to the business. On tonight's program, what motivated me to talk about this tonight was the fact that for years now, fellas have been falling for the delusion. They've been falling in the misnomer that you have intrinsic value, and R. Kelly is the quintessential example of understanding that you can get forgiven for anything so long as you produce. And as soon as you are unable to produce, you're going to start getting punished. As a man, when you stop being able to produce, you're going to start getting punished for not producing. Men get punished for not producing. Women get punished for being unable to acquire a producer. I'm making sure you understand the rules. Too many of you limp-jawed, soy boy, sandals wearing, pink lace wearing niggas out here don't understand. So that's why I'm laying it out to you. Before you start trying to deflect like the hoes do. Before you start trying to deflect like the hoes do, I want to point that out to you here. Men get punished for not producing. Females get punished for being unable to acquire and keep a producer. Those are the rules. That's how it works. That's how it's going to happen. A lot of folks get surprised by this, and you shouldn't be surprised by this. These are the rules. These are the rules. And if your mammy and your daddy didn't tell you here before, we're going ahead and pointing that out to you now. Fellas, I want you to understand the lesson that you need to take away from this when you're hearing the females today. They didn't say a damn thing against R. Kelly until the last 2 years. But in the last 2 or 3 years, his album sales completely cratered. He wasn't able to move no weight. And that's when they turned on him. When they became certain that he wasn't going to recover. When they become certain that he wasn't going to recover, that's when you're going to get punished. And that's the lesson you need to learn from this. Gonna go ahead and take a couple of phone calls here. Let me get caller from area code 312. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 312. Last try. You're on live.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Dane from Chicago.
Okay, Dane from Chicago. You must be over there playing with R. Kelly and getting molested. Wake the hell up, nigga. You're on the line.
I'm already woke. I'm woke.
Clearly you not. R. Kelly must be over there lathering you up. Wake up, dude. You're on the phone. What's on your mind?
I agree with you 1,000%. Ain't nobody never laid it out like how you just laid it out, because that do actually make sense. I do also believe that when white society turned on R. Kelly, that's when everybody else got on board because his fame. So I do believe. So I definitely believe I do like how you just laid it out, because that makes a whole lot of sense. It really does, and it's actually the stone cold truth. So.
As men, you're going to be punished for that. I think R. Kelly is the quintessential example of that. This is a guy who for 2 damn decades, with everybody knowing what was going on, and there were only a few voices like myself that were saying anything to the contrary, and we got straight ignored forever. And it was only when his album sales cratered that all of a sudden, now the women have found virtue, the women have found morality, the women have found ethics, the women are concerned now. Yeah, he doesn't have anything else he can offer them that offsets those other things. You see, what happens here, and I'm about to say something that's brutally honest. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I gotta say something that's brutally honest. Fellas, women play up the value of all these other things because they have to have the value. It's women who tell you that children are so precious and priceless and you can't put a value on it. That's only what hoes say when they go to court. Can I say hoes? That's only what they say when they want to go to court. A woman will have a baby at the drop of a damn hat by a garbage can if there are benefits involved. A woman's not picky about who she has children by. She's only going to decide, is this the best I can do at this time? And if having a child is her best option, if she can't get a better job, if she's not going to inherit any money, a woman will have a child at the drop of a damn hat. Take a look at all these welfare babies, Section 8 babies, food stamps babies, whole generations. Women hopped on that like it was nothing. Take a look at all these anchor babies. These women are having babies. I can't get the citizenship papers. That's okay. Have a baby. And then they'll have it written in the law. Oh, babies are precious. Who's the number one advocates of abortion? Women. The same people who killed the babies in the womb, killed the babies out of the womb, who are the number one abusers of children, of babies, who are the number one killers of babies, while they're telling the men that babies are priceless, while they're telling the men that babies have infinite value, while they tell the men that babies are invaluable. But then they tell you, no. You see, when you try to say that babies are invaluable, she's going to be quick to let you know, damn that kid. If the kid ain't benefiting me, damn that kid. But otherwise, man, y'all see, they sit up here and shock you. I thought babies were precious and invaluable. She'll crack out a kid at the drop of a damn hat. They just want you to believe that sex is invaluable, children are invaluable. They want you as a man to believe that, because that is a way of coercing greater benefits out of you. Since women facilitate birth, they just want to make sure we can get the greatest benefits out of you, but this is something that they sell to you. This isn't something that they allow you to sell to them. Notice that. They don't let you sell to them that your baby is invaluable. You can't sell that one to them, but they sell it to you. How many of you have fallen for that game over the years? It's a good thing you found the business so we can get you straight about that. Caller from area code 469. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's John from Dallas.
John from Dallas, what's on your mind?
A couple of things. One thing I would say is intrinsic value, while it's a philosophical concept, I submit to you that it's a quasi-con game because they want to be respected for their intrinsic value, but what they expect from other people is tangibles, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. And as far as the thing about R. Kelly, that is very, very true. And like you, I've been like never R. Kelly for the past, 20-some years or whatever. But one thing I noticed was the same woman that he allegedly molested, which he was found not guilty of, that was actually the same one with the whole other relatives who came back for round 2.
It's not the only one.
Now.
Most of them did. Most of them did. Most of them. And if we can just tell the truth, now that they're grown, the only thing that they're upset about was, once again, the money ran out. By the way, did you notice for 20 damn years, everybody was a model citizen? You didn't hear anything about all the chicks at the house and all the rest of this stuff. Nobody was snitching. Nobody was giving interviews. Nobody was going on Instagram or Facebook tattletaling. Did you notice nobody was doing that for 20 years? It wasn't until 2015 when the album sales dropped off that all of a sudden it was, okay, the golden goose ain't laying no more eggs. Maybe we can make a dime by dropping information on him. Maybe we can make more money by dropping the dime on him. Maybe that'll pay more. So when he was unable to pay everybody like he was, they started seeing, well, maybe we can trade on his name. Maybe we can make more money by giving some gossip interview about him. Even if what we're saying is untrue, maybe that'll pay us more. And that's exactly what's going on now. But as long as he was producing, they didn't have a problem with that. And it wasn't just one of them. It was all of them. Everybody was on the same stuff. Everybody was fine. Nobody had a problem until you stop producing. Then all of a sudden, everybody's got an axe to grind. Everybody's bitter. Everybody's upset. Yeah, they're upset because they leased their souls. And as long as they were getting paid top dollar for it, they felt like they were getting just compensation, but now we're leasing our soul and there's no payment for it? No, we're not going to let that happen. No, we're not going for it. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 347. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, this is SLRBK from Brooklyn, NYC.
All right, brother, what's on your mind?
I think this is an interesting episode that you're talking about with, punishment and failure from individuals and whatnot. And it's very true what you're saying. And I would say in a relationship level, that is low level politics, and higher level politics. I could just make an example of it's like coding, and I create some new form of software, and you have a bunch of people around you who support your system, this, that, and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. You have a couple teammates who could be a part of your business, and they all betray you and just fucking throw you right under a carpet. And through that failure, you automatically just see a whole other world of abandonment through shit like that. So relationships is a bullshit level. I think that's baby money compared to bigger pictures of business and politics in this world that's done on higher levels of that. So when a lot of times people talk about relationships and the things that people do to each other in relationships, that shit in the longer run, sometimes people come out with millions of dollars in a divorce or whatever, but it's still going to always, to my imagination, say, be small level politics, if that maybe makes sense to say.
Well, I mean, life is politics. I mean, politics isn't really a profession. Life is politics. And no, most people's relationships do not involve millions of dollars, but that's the deception that people have to understand. Wealth is relative. Riches are relative. Benefits are relative. So it's really relative to there's what you may want, and then there's what you can actually get. I'm going to do you know what? While I'm here tonight, I might as well. I was going to say I was going to do a broadcast in the future. Why don't I just go ahead and do that here tonight? Thank you very much for giving me a call. Folks, concrete things break defenses. I'm giving you a little sprinkle of the dark arts of game. Giving you a little sprinkle of that. Concrete, tangible things break down defenses. I want you to understand that. Concrete things break down defenses. It's easy for folk to have their defenses up. It's easy for people to resist what you're saying. It's easy to do that when there's nothing tangible sitting in front of them to lose. And it doesn't take millions of dollars to break down defenses. Give people something tangible to lose. Put it in their hands. Let them hold it and feel it. They're immediately going to start forming a connection with it. That's how Hugh Hefner was able to get so many women everywhere to do his bidding. Because it matters. Because it matters. Giving people concrete tangibles matters. It breaks down defenses. It breaks down resistance. It causes them to start questioning themselves. It's a gut check moment. Let me try this a different way. Putting tangibles in somebody's hands, that's a way of calling, not a way, just a way. That's calling their bluff. When you put it in their hands directly, that's calling their bluff. I want you to understand that. You're calling somebody's bluff when you do that. When you bring them out and you say, okay, what we gonna do here next, I'm gonna put this in your hands, and if you don't want it, just give it back to me. See, that's what they're doing right now with those so-called stimulus checks. Politicians have known to do that for decades. Okay, then, if you don't want to roll with my political party, here's the check. All you got to do is give it back. Record labels did that for decades, and they still do it today. They find out what fools' real prices are. Yeah, there's what you claim you're worth, but they can find out what your real price is. You claim you want $1 million, but all they got to do is wiggle 100,000 in front of your face. We're going to find out real quick what your real price is. We're going to find out what you really are willing to go for. And then you find out when you put tangibles in somebody's hand, when you literally put it in their hands and then tell them, all right, if you don't want it, all you gotta do is give it back. All you gotta do is hand it back to me. All of a sudden you start finding out, and nobody really wants to hand that back to you now, do they? Nobody wants to give it back. Now you found out what people's price really is. Now you found out what they're really willing to do. Now you found out where the bottom really is. See, you've been sold on a bill of goods. You've been sold on a bill of goods that you can find out what people are really thinking by talking. Damn talking. You find out what people really think by putting tangibles in their hands. That's when you find out what they really think. You see, you can call bluffs and you can call hands when you are able to get folk get tangibles. It breaks their defenses. You find them doing all kinds of stuff they told you they were never going to do, or that you thought they were never going to do. That's when you find it out. Oh, I thought the price was much higher. No, when you put tangibles in people's hands, then you start finding out what they're really made of and what they're really willing to do, and a bunch of the stuff that you thought, well, this is the only way it can go. No, not really. Not really. That's not really the way that will go. But you have to be able to call hands on that. You have to be able to put it in their hands. But I'm telling you right now, you break defenses with tangibles. You break defenses. You break people's resistance with tangibles. You break their resistance by putting it in front of them. That's how you do it. You break their resistance by putting it in front of them. Then you're going to find out what they really believe. Let me get caller from area code 214. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Caller from area code 214. Last try. You're on live with The Business. Put down the baby oil. Okay, caller from 214 is apparently touching on themselves erotically and is so entranced they're not paying attention to the phone. Let me get caller from area code 337. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, sir. This is Khalid from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Khalid from Lafayette. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to make a statement about the R. Kelly thing. You know, it's funny, whenever all that popped off, I never stopped listening to him, because I already knew about it and I could separate him from the music. But what was crazy was the older women, they would like bash me about it. And I'm like, y'all the ones who put it on. I'm 25. So y'all had all this time, because they knew all that already. So like they could have been, bash him, but they waited until the white people decided to do it. And then they were like, oh, okay, well now we're going to stop listening to it. What do you think about that?
No, I've been explaining the whole time. This had nothing to do with the white folk. No. It was when the numbers fell off. There's been no new information. That we have known about R. Kelly's proclivities since the mid-90s. We knew about it from the very first album. It was never a secret. How the hell did you get 2.5 decades down the road? It was never a secret. When Ron Isley was with him and T-Pain and T.I., everybody knew what was being said. Jay-Z, Best of Both Worlds, they didn't need the white media didn't have to say nothing. Everybody knew. And no pressure from the white media was a problem. The white media was talking about Aaliyah and the annulment. That didn't run nobody off. Why? Because he was platinum back then. Then he went from platinum to gold, and then from gold to wood. No, it's directly inverse to his productivity and his success. When the numbers fell off, that was when the women turned on him. They didn't find out anything new. There wasn't any new media pressure. All this stuff was already out there. Media outlets were already talking about it. Nobody was going to listen to you so long as he's winning. As soon as his numbers stopped coming in, that's when everybody said, okay, we got to drop you. And what they'll try to do is tell you, well, the numbers dropped because he no longer had the support of the people. Okay, well, if that's the calculation that these folks were making, that doesn't make it any better. That you were saying, well, it doesn't matter what people say publicly. We're only going to pay attention to the album sales. We'll take that as the only speech that we acknowledge. Our album sales. That's bad enough if you say something like that, but that's not the way it went. R. Kelly became old hat. There were a bunch of other people who had imitated him. R. Kelly was old hat by this time. Going in the 21st century, there were too many guys and too many chicks doing it. At this point, he just looks old. And that was when everybody said, the audience had moved on. So everybody was rolling with him until the audience moved on. Once the audience moved on, that's when he got sunk.
Okay, so let me ask you this: how could he have prevented that? Like, let's say he didn't sing anymore. Like, how could he have prevented that?
Brother, I mean, there's no substitute for winning.
No, I said singing.
Okay, I'm saying this again. There is no substitute for winning.
Okay.
You're asking me what else could he have done? You need another win. The only thing that's keeping the people from devouring you or abandoning you is the fact you're winning. You better keep this winning streak going. Because that's going to be it. That's going to be it. If you don't continue to win, you're dead. You're dead. So what could he have done to avoid this? Win. Win. That's it, win. R. Kelly couldn't write music for anybody else. His music only works for him. He couldn't make it for nobody else. So being a songwriter is out of the question. The only thing he could do to fix this was start winning again. That was it. And the problem is he reached a point where the music stopped. He had so much baggage that if at any point you lose your ability to win, this whole thing that you've been avoiding is about to collapse on you like a mountain. So everybody else, even if they don't have the album sales, they're not sitting here with a whole bunch of scandalous stuff waiting in the wings to come at them.
Right.
The only thing that saves you is winning. Take a look at Michael Jordan. Nobody cared what he was doing on this all the time. You're winning. Tiger Woods, nobody cared. You're winning. His wife didn't care. You're winning. I get so sick of people trying to twist that into something it wasn't. Ellen Nordegren wasn't ignorant about it. The white media wasn't ignorant about it. Keith Olbermann said that. Keith Olbermann said that in sports media, they all knew about all those other women. They didn't say anything. It wasn't until Tiger's scores started dropping off some that they said, now's the time. Now's the time. Well, his wife went off on the Cadillac. Do y'all realize how many times that stuff happens to celebrities? Get real. Do you think that she just woke up one day and was the type of female to go swinging a 9-iron at your Cadillac? Folks, pull your heads out your rumps. She didn't just wake up one day doing that any more than Evelyn Lozado just woke up one day swinging on Chad Johnson. You had season after season of Evelyn Lozado on TV jumping on hoes, jumping on people, throwing bottles at people. And then you're going to act like you don't believe she started a fight with Chad Johnson. She didn't just wake up one day doing that. She was doing it the whole time. And Ellen didn't just wake up one day and them chicks was there. It's like, okay, not only are you losing at golf, you ain't got time to run these damn streets. You need to be out there practicing your swing. You don't have time to run these streets. Did Tiger Woods seem shocked that she beat the damn car up? No. Do you think that bothered him and worried him? No. That's why she hit the car and not him. She hit the car, not him. She knows
probably for him.
She knows the game. She knows the rules. To the rest of the population, y'all don't know the rules. She knows the rules. She knows the game. She knows what's going on. She wasn't shocked by anything. She had a moment of being upset, and that's it. And the fact the police took him to jail and not her tells you just how big of an issue it wasn't. And yes, now he's back out there winning again on the golf course, and notice the media ain't got a damn thing to say now. Now they don't have anything to say. Do you all think that Tiger ain't still chasing them hoes today? Do you think now with what he's doing right now, he's winning again, he's gotten the green jackets and stuff, do y'all think that Tiger ain't still out there in them streets right now? Do you think he's not still doing it today? Why do you think that winning is so important to these guys? Why do you think with Kobe Bryant, him and Michael Jordan, two of the biggest womanizers in the league, I'm just saying, let's just say it like it is. I mean, although among professional athletes, that's relative, but they understood winning is what gets people to overlook whatever else you're doing. Do you think Kobe Bryant was scared of getting divorced? No. How the hell is she gonna divorce me? I'm the number 2 player in the league. The second biggest, if not the biggest name at that time. The only name at that time that was bigger than him was what? Maybe Shaq? Don't lecture me about sports and basketball. I'm not no basketball sports person. I don't give a damn. But if he wasn't the number 1 name in the NBA, he was number 2. If he wasn't number 1, he was definitely number 2. Where's she gonna go? Where's she gonna go? Fellas, remember, if you truly believe in hypergamy, then you believe that hypergamy is always seeking to improve itself. Well, you don't have access to the number 1 guy, which means you can't do better than number 2. Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go? There's nowhere to go. She ain't gonna step down. You see, Ellen Nordegren could afford to leave Tiger Woods. She's going to get a bunch of money, but you all know the game. At some point, she's got to return to white society. At some point, she got to go back. Heidi Klum. We can go down the list. Pink. Jennifer Lopez. At some point, they've got to return to their people. Don't you get it twisted about the way the path is going to go. Ellen was going to have to leave at some point. Not only did she leave, but she left and made it look like a takedown to him when she went out the door. They were congratulating her for doing that. This is time to get out while the getting's good. But nobody's going to sit up here and run out the door while you're winning. They don't know how much further it's going to go. You still winning. So why do you think it was so important? Kobe Bryant was one of the most studious people in practice. They talked about that at the memorial service. Everybody acknowledged his work ethic. Everybody acknowledged he practiced 7 days a week. Everybody acknowledged that. You could see why he was one of the best ever, because he's doing it 24/7. It's second nature to him. In many ways, just plain nature. It's not even second nature. It's just nature to him. It's natural. But he understood, if I want to do all this other stuff, I gotta win. If I don't keep winning, I will get punished for all of these other things I want to do. When you talk about the music business, all these rock stars, why do you think keeping number 1 hit songs was so important to them? And as soon as they didn't have a number 1 hit song, next thing you know, they overdose. They very, very rarely overdose when they're at the top of their game. When they got a hit album out and they're selling millions of copies, they're going around the world. Yeah, they were doing drugs then, but the drug use turns fatal when the numbers fall off. That's when folks start dying. Alice in Chains, and you can go down the list. I won't even get started on that one. Folks start dying when the numbers fall off. When they stop winning, folks start dying. Michael Jackson, Prince. I mean, think about that for a few moments. Michael Jackson had Thriller hanging over his head till the day he died. Everybody was wondering, was there ever going to be another Thriller? Till the day he died. And Prince was resentful because he felt like he was a better musician than Michael was. And his big heyday was back in the 80s also. He never lost the respect of the fans or the community, but the numbers weren't there anymore. Prince didn't have another album that sold like Purple Rain. Michael didn't have another album that sold like Thriller and then Bad. That didn't happen. Yeah, those were great albums that they made later, but they didn't hit those big numbers like those first ones did. And once that became the new normal, next thing you know, everybody's doing drugs. It shouldn't be a surprise that the trajectory of their success in numbers and the trajectory of drug use and other problems follow each other. Or in the case the drug use is inverse to the amount of success you have. The success drops by 10%, the drug use increases by 10%. And it shouldn't be surprising. So the only way you can beat the odds is by winning. As long as you are a man who continues to win, nobody's going to punish you as long as you're winning. But if you stop winning, get ready to get buried. No matter how long they've been walking with you, no matter how long they've been praising you, they're waiting in the wings for it. If that other shoe ever drops, they're waiting to punish you. Because truth be told, they've got all their eggs in your basket. Remember, I said they're not loyal to you. They are loyal to what you can do. They're loyal to your accomplishments. They're loyal to your ability to produce. They put all their eggs in your basket. In the case of an Ellen Nordegren, you were with Tiger for too long, truthfully speaking. You put all those eggs in his basket. When things went south, that's it, you lost. Heidi Klum, same thing. She can't go back out into the sexual marketplace and trade. No disrespect to Kobe Bryant's wife, no disrespect. But after them kids and whatnot all these years, she's not really eligible to go back out there like that. So all those eggs are in that basket. And as a man, that's the only security that you have, is getting other people to invest in your accomplishments with you. So they're all in. But inversely, if you ever fail to be able to produce, just understand there's another shoe that's probably going to drop on you. And the more dirt and the more unseemly behavior that they've had to tolerate as the price of your success, they're probably going to be waiting for a day to let you know what they really felt about having to swallow all that garbage for all that time. That's something to keep in mind. But the only thing that will save you is if you're able to consistently win.
That was powerful. Thank you.
Well, I'll let you have the last word.
Well, I definitely didn't think of it like that. You know, I usually wondered, like, why all of the major rock stars and whatnot, why they always, you know, would go to drugs whenever it seemed like, you know, they were living a life. But, I mean, I didn't think about, you know, people punishing them for not keeping that same level of success. So, you know, that definitely opened my eyes to that. So, thank you.
No, I mean, you all can go take a look at it for yourselves. Go follow all your great rock groups from The Doors. If you found somebody dead from drug use, it was usually somebody who was mega successful. At the time they OD'd, they wasn't hitting like that anymore. They weren't hitting like that no more. You can go down the list. If you find somebody in the business who has OD'd, it's guaranteed they didn't do it at the top of their game. It wasn't at the top of their game. It was after they had peaked. And especially if there was somebody who was one of the all-time greats and phenomenal, just understand the pressure is on them tremendously. The pressure's on them tremendously. Kurt Cobain, no, somebody said Kurt Cobain died on top. No, Kurt Cobain did not die on top. That's one of those things that people don't understand. Kurt Cobain was never a success in his eyes. The problems that he had never allowed him to even think of himself as a success. So as far as he was concerned, no, it didn't really happen. Amy Weinstein. No, Amy Weinstein had already hit the top, people. Amy wasn't going no higher. Truth be told, neither was Nirvana. Nirvana wasn't going any higher than it was. That was it. It was over with that one. Nirvana was not going any higher. It wasn't going to go any bigger. Amy Winehouse was not going to go any bigger. No, she wasn't. And the industry was punishing her because, okay, you're not going to get any bigger. Next thing you know, all right, let's just get you on these drugs over here. Let's go ahead and just get you on these drugs over here. But let's be honest here, folks. I mean, they were not getting any bigger than that. That was it. They had already peaked. The Ozzy Osbournes are rare. Now, some of y'all don't be stupid. Chester Benningfield had depression issues. Those are folks. Now you're talking about people who are dealing with depression, and Kurt Cobain also. But you're just naming all people who are dealing with depression issues. And all of them, to some degree, have been dabbling in drugs either before or once they got started, because the business wants to get you off into drugs. But they had depression issues. A lot of them lived, but a lot of them died. But for the most of them, the ones who OD'd, most of them was after the peak of their success. Most of them. Thank you for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 401. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason Black. This is Q from Providence, Rhode Island. How you doing today?
Okay, did you say Tim?
No, Q from Providence, Rhode Island.
All right, Pew from Providence, Rhode Island. What's on your mind?
Yeah, my question is, what do you think about single men dating women with kids? 35 with no kids, got a career, and most of these women have kids. What do you think about that?
Okay. I get asked this question from time to time. What do I think about a guy dating a woman with kids? I'm going to say that's a decision, but I am going to strongly advise young men to stay away from single mothers whatsoever, because I cannot trust their judgment. You see, a fella who's in his late 30s or his 40s, he's got his money right, he's disciplined, he knows how to keep women in their proper section and place in his life. He can deal with a single mother. He can do something like that, because what happens is these young fellas, I'm not able to trust them to be able to be disciplined enough not to get sprung and fall in love. And that's what tends to happen to them. Okay, brother, it sounds like you're building a house over there. If I need to mute you, I will, but I don't know what's going on. It sounds like you're building this old house.
I just came outside. There was a lot of, I'm sorry, I went outside. Sorry.
It sounds like you got an old rickety screen door there. So in any case.
Stop it with the Jason, stop it. I went outside.
I'm not, okay. Nigga, it sounds like you're building a damn house. Okay, well, it is what it is. In any case.
I'm building a clubhouse, Jason. You're right.
He's hangers and dryers. In any case, I'm not able to trust young men to be able to be disciplined about females. I'm not able to trust them to do that. Single mothers are very cunning, and single mothers learn how to be cunning and how to be slick much earlier than the same age guy. So a female with two kids by two different dudes, a 25-year-old female with two kids by two different dudes is going to be a lot more cunning and a lot more slick than a 25-year-old guy who doesn't have kids. That's what they're going to be dealing with.
My question is, what happens if that woman is giving you tangibles? What happens if the woman's 40 years old with 2 kids, she's a nurse, and she's giving you money?
Okay. You're going to have to ask yourself, do you think you've peaked or not? That's what you're going to have to ask yourself. Okay, we got a lot of noise going on there, brother. I'm going to have to let you go here because I don't know what's going on. It's like he gets on the phone with me and then he wants to go off jogging or something. I wouldn't have a problem with telling younger men that they could date a single mother. The problem is I can't trust you young fellas not to fall in love. Because you'll meet a 25-year-old chick with 2 kids and you haven't really had a lot of sex like that and she's been run through, which means she's a lot more sexually experienced than you are. And she's just going to get into bed and have your little naive ass turn the hell out. That's what happens. So she's 25 and you're 25, but she's lived a lot more in that 25 years. From the age of 18 to 25, she's gone through a lot more in those 7 years than you have. So you can't compare the amount of cunning that she's willing to employ, because if she's a single mom, she's used to getting screwed over by dudes. She's learned stuff the hard way. And she ain't got nothing to show for it. That's why she's got to become a nurse at 40 years old, because ain't nobody really delivering any tangibles to her. So she's got to get out here and get it for herself. So she's 25 years old with 2 kids. She's done been through the system. She's had to deal with child support. She's had to deal with, maneuvering this fella to give up tangibles or benefits. She's been through all the emotional ups and downs. She's lived a whole lot of years and gone through a whole lot of changes with men that a female without kids normally would need a decade or 2 to go through. She's been through it in 5 or 6 years, and she's coming out of that very jaded. She's coming out of it very jaded. She's coming out of it very bitter. She's coming out of it very angry. She's coming out of it saying, I ain't letting nobody else get over on me like that. So now she's meeting your little tender booty 25-year-old self, and you're thinking she's like every other 25-year-old female. No, she's not. No, she's not. Because she has learned how to weaponize sex. She's 25 years old, and in the real world, she has had to consciously, deliberately start weaponizing sex. That's something that the average 25-year-old, 30-year-old male doesn't even think to do. Like, he'll think to use sex. He won't think to weaponize it. He won't think, you know what? I could screw this woman's life over. I'm willing to use sex to screw her life over. The average 25-year-old, 30-year-old male that notion, that emotion doesn't even enter his mind. And I mean literally. You've got a generation of females out here who literally want to destroy your life through sex. Literally. And you're meeting her under the impression that she's somehow the same. You're meeting her thinking that she's somehow the same as every other female you've met, and it's not. So by the time she gets 40 years old, you're not dealing with a female who is soft and feminine and caring and nurturing. You're dealing with a female who has spent the last 15, 20 damn years getting run over, run through, run around, and run ragged. And she's dealing with you in that capacity. She's dealing with you from the capacity of, I've been getting screwed the hell over for 15, 20 years. I'm now going to use sex as a weapon. She is a jaded, cynical, calloused veteran of these fights. She is a jaded, cynical, calloused veteran of decades of war and conflict and getting messed over. And so you're meeting her and telling yourself, well, I met me a nice little, she's been through some things, but I done met me a nice little chick here, okay. And that's what you're telling yourself. Now, if it's just one of those things where I can't really trust younger guys to have that type of savvy, to be able to spot it and to be able to put her in a place where she can't harm you. Because a lot of y'all, you're dealing with a chick who's a lot more sexually experienced. She's a lot more emotionally experienced. She's a lot more sly than you are. So she's dealing with you from a capacity of a level of callousness and viciousness that you ain't really ready for. So to these young fellas, if I felt like I could trust you, then it would be different. If I felt like I could trust you, it would be different. But the problem is I can't. So I just have to tell you all, for your safety, no, you just don't fool with it. Don't worry about that. You just don't fool with it. You just don't fool with it. Now, for an older fella who's been through some things, that he's seen some of the tricks that women can play and whatnot, that guy is able to deal with it better. He's not meeting her and she gets in the bed and blows his mind, and now first thing hits his mind, ooh, I could marry her. I could stay with this chick here. You know what? I can see myself taking care of you and all them kids. An older fella is going to be more disciplined. A younger fella, she's going to have you wrapped around her finger with sex alone. I'm watching too many of you. I got too many of you that I just can't trust with that. There are too many of you out here that if you actually had your damn pimp shoes on, it would be different. But too many of you were raised by single mothers, so you get with a single mother and start trying to treat her like she's some honorable queen. That's how you turn on the internet. All these guys who got a bunch of kids by a bunch of single moms, you notice those are the hotep queens and she this, that, and the other. He doesn't make a distinction between a hood rat and a CEO. He makes no distinction. And a lot of you as guys, you are, because you don't have any accomplishments, you don't have anything of value to protect. So since you don't have anything of value to protect, you're naive, you are sexually and emotionally naive, that becomes a problem. That becomes a problem. When you're sexually and emotionally naive. Single mothers are not sexually and emotionally naive. They are sexually and emotionally hardened. She sees sex more like a calloused male does. That is something that you do and something that you use. But guess what? She also sees having children as something that you do and something that you use. And the average 25-year-old male, the average 30-year-old male, if you haven't had enough experiences with women, with females, to see what they're truly capable of and to see just how ruthless they can really be with you, and single mothers are at the very top of the chain of ruthless females. You're not going to meet anything more ruthless, more callous, more uncaring about your feelings than a single mother. There just isn't. Single mothers are the most careless and callous when it comes to your feelings, your life, everything. She is a completely self-centered organism. And it takes a certain type of male to be able to handle that. And yes, I said handle. It takes a certain type of male to be able to go there with her. A young, naive fella is not going to be able to do that. A young, naive fella who he's popular with the girls, but he's not knowledgeable. He's not knowledgeable. So you got to have a fella who can do that. No, dummy, it's not. All of them are not as bad as single mothers. Single mothers got everybody beat. Single mothers got everybody beat. No, it is not. Single mothers are a different type of creature altogether. All females are not the same. Single mothers dwell in a different place from everybody else. Single mothers have a different level of cunning, a different level of ruthlessness, a different level of agitation. They are totally different. Totally different. Totally different. It is not the same thing. And I can't trust young fellas to sit up here and accept that. I can't do that. I can't do that. So if for an older fella who's been through some things and seen some stuff, he can go ahead and do that because he's seen it all. He's seen it. He's been through it. She's not going to be able to emotionally push his buttons like that. She's not going to be able to use sex as leverage. He's going to be able to keep control. A younger fella, most of you younger dudes, y'all can't do nothing with a single mother of any age except get run. That's all you can do is get run. She's going to run you. But you can't run her. You're not ready for it. You ain't been through it. You'll be trying to find the humanity in her. Well, she just like everybody else. You know, everybody been through some things. All right, nigga, here it comes. Here it comes. She's not going to tell you. She's going to show you. Caller from area code 202. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Abdul from D.C. How you doing today?
Abdul from D.C. What's on your mind?
Man, first of all, let me say, man, pardon my French, but God damn, you hitting some point. I initially called to talk about one thing, but when you was talking about that single mother thing, man, you hit the nail on the head. I'm dealing with a single mother, 2 children. Hopefully, everything will go well. She's going to have my child on August, and everything you said is dead on point. You describe her to a T. She's 30. I'm 43. Man, you hit the point on the head, man, because she has to be handled. And the way which based on a lot of the stuff I've been through, because I can admit I went through my whole emotional, wanted that perfect relationship, going into this European concept stuff, and it wasn't until I had to be broke down, and it was people like you, Professor Truth, Tariq Nasheed, and other platforms that I was able to, man, incorporate a lot of that wisdom into my life and just doing a lot of reflecting on a lot of my past mistakes. When I deal with her, when she get to going through her little ways, man, I don't even got to say nothing. You know what? Okay. And she know. And I'll stretch that out. And mentally, why ain't he calling? Why ain't he?
Well, brother, I got a couple of questions to ask here. First of all, she's like 13 years younger than you are, correct?
Yeah.
So you're not naive about it, which is good. But how did you end up being 43 years old making bastard kids with a chick like that? How did that? Because it sounds like she still kind of ringed you there, bro. How did you end up being 43 and getting chicks pregnant and how that happen?
And
how did she get you into
said,
that? Let me see. How did she ring you into that?
That's how I said you hit it on a point. Because we had a real conversation. I was a concierge at an apartment building at the time. I've been there for years. So before I even start dealing with her, me working in there, I'm looking at all the residents. I'm looking at their patterns, what they do. I basically know everybody's business. But before I even dealt with her, she has 2 children, a son and a daughter, and we also have like after school center in there. So y'all
okay,
good,
so
good,
this,
good, and
this was
okay. Hold on,
this was public housing.
I know I'm being long-winded.
So this was public. So this was public housing, was what this was.
No, it was an apartment building.
This was an apartment building that accepts Section 8. That's what this was.
And give her props. She went in there on a voucher, went through the mayor program. Got herself off Section 8, got herself off the food stamps, all the little pitfalls she went through early on in life. She shook it. Built herself up. Man, I'm getting off this. Right now, she working in the HR department in the government. But going back to your question, which I'm long-winded, she said she was plotting on me the whole time. She got She snared.
Hello?
Yeah, did you hear me? I said, you said, how did that end up happening? She got me.
You said she was plotting on you the whole time. She said, and then silence. So I thought she stuck a knife in your back for a moment there. So, bro, what are you trying to say?
Nah, I'm saying the whole time she knew that she wanted me, and her whole plans was to get me. And she got me. And when I mean she got me, I don't, because in all actuality, good woman from all the women I dealt with, man, on point.
30 years old, she saw a fella 43. Now, the 2 kids that she got, are they by the same fella?
No.
She's 30 years old, got 2 kids by 2 different dudes, 2-time loser. So her vagina is public access. She saw you at 43 years old and decides she wants to get her life together. Did you have any kids already?
A daughter.
Okay, so you already had a child yourself then.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, hell, she saw you coming from a mile away then. She like, oh, hell, this nigga ain't got nothing to lose. He'll go for it. Okay. She calculated correctly. She calculated correctly. She bet right.
She saw me a mile away, but one thing I will say, she ain't wait for me to get my life together. She already had her life together.
Yeah,
it wasn't
but
like, oh, I'm with her.
Yeah, but now
Go ahead.
The 2 fellas she got kids by previously, what are they doing?
One actually got killed, and the other one is in prison. Both of her children, one is 10 and the other one is 12.
So you got
she started at a young age.
You got you a stomp down gang related chick then.
Basically, yes.
I mean, he got him a for real hood rat, but she is probably dynamite in bed.
Hey, Jason. She's good.
She better be. She better be with
She's good.
with all those liabilities on her rap sheet. She better be. So, in any case, she saw that coming. Are you planning on marrying her?
Yeah, actually, yes.
That yeah sounded real weak, bro. You want to try that again? That yeah sounded real weak.
Nah, because I'm shaking my head up and down like yeah.
Okay, because I thought you were shaking your head side to side. No, you're telling me yes, but you're shaking your head no.
Nah.
So I'm just wondering.
Nah,
that yeah was real weak.
Tell you something. Nah, because I'm gonna tell you something, Jason. I see the situation. I understand the past. I know what it's like. I know what the life is like. So I'm not going through this thinking that, oh, she's a diamond, she's pristine, she's in all white, and everything is going to be butterflies. But it's been crucial things that has happened in my life where, okay, to make a long story short, and this will probably lead to more questions. 19 years old, got locked up, came home at 35. Came home just in time for my mom to catch cancer. 2 times cancer. One time it was in her lungs and then it metastasized into her brain. So in the process of all of that and going through a lot of ups and downs and dealing with different women, she stepped to the plate in a way that I didn't even expect.
So she got with you while you were emotionally vulnerable?
No.
Yes.
Not at all.
Yes. That's literally what you just described. You literally just described she was there for you while you were emotionally vulnerable. Because here's the thing, brother. She ain't got nothing but time on her hands. So even if you two have been seeing each other for 2 or 3 years, she knows if something like that happens, she got to step up and make an impression on you that you are not going to forget. So if somebody gets sick, somebody who's close to you gets sick or whatever, she know no matter what she might feel, she got to step up because that experience is going to stick with you, and she needs some offsets for a lot of the negatives she brings to the table. So that was her opening to make that impression with you. So I'm just saying she kind of snuck in there when you were emotionally vulnerable.
Oh, in that case, absolutely 100% agreement. But me, if I'm going through something and I'm with you and you don't step up and step to the plate, you some crap anyway.
Well, I can definitely understand that. I can definitely understand that. The only thing I feel, though, is like what I was saying before, she might be younger than you are, but you are more emotionally and sexually naive than she is. I hope it doesn't work out badly, but here's the problem that I have. How long have you been seeing her?
2 years.
Okay. You've been involved with her for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you said I went raw with her for 2 years.
No, you probably have, actually. But my thing about it, though, is that after 2 years, do you realize you had less of a problem getting her pregnant than you have marrying her? And a baby is a permanent thing. But you were able to bring yourself to get her pregnant, but you haven't been able to bring yourself to marry her. That's all types of warning signs that you yourself should be registering. Why is it that you don't want to marry her first? Why is it you're so reluctant to do that?
At first, based on a couple of other relationships, I was just like, I'm good with just having sex with a couple of women here and there. Cool, I'm good. But that whole being invested and all the way ensnared into one individual at the time,
okay, but if you're having kids with him, you're doing that. But if you're having kids with him, brother, you're already doing that. She's already got leverage all on you. So what I'm saying is you're giving less credence to a baby than you are to a ring? How in the world is it that you are so reluctant to marry her if you having kids with her? I mean, aren't you recognizing that this is your subconscious trying to tell you, she ain't wife material? Well, if she's not wife material, why in the world is she carrying your legacy? If you're already admitting to yourself, this ain't wife material, why does she have this much leverage on you now?
But you want to know what? Off the break, I'm going to say, that's not true. But at the same token, I owe it to myself to register what you're saying and to reflect on it and
which
to really
part
think
is not,
about
okay,
that.
which part is not true?
Hold up.
Which part is not true?
I don't feel like it was necessarily me placing the baby over the marriage, because the baby just like, oh, okay, it happened.
No, it did not just happen. No, sir, it did not just happen.
I know, right?
No, it did not just happen.
I know, right?
No,
but
it didn't.
But I do plan on marrying this woman. However,
Okay.
I owe it to myself to reflect on what you have to say.
Okay.
And to think about it,
Well,
because
okay.
you do
Point.
make some valid points.
Here's my point, brother. My point is you
I'm
don't
listening.
have to reflect on it. You've already made the decision. And when you got her pregnant, but you made sure to get her pregnant, but also made sure not to marry her. What that happens when a male is conflicted. And when a female has sex with you, it confuses you. If you are emotionally naive. Now, she's not naive about this. She ain't got nothing to lose. She needs a protector and provider to step in and be that father figure with her kids. She ain't got nothing to lose in this arrangement. She can keep cracking out the kids till she finds somebody who is willing to take on these other people's responsibilities. However, in your case here, just understand, y'all get into bed with these chickens. That's what I said about younger guys or guys who are more emotionally naive. Y'all are naive about it, and these chicks get you in bed, and you get confused. You start catching feelings, so you start acting one way while doing something else. I'm going to have children with her, which is part of a family building, but I'm not going to marry her, because there's a logical part of your mind that registers, to marry her, I got to sign a contract. Now, that's real. That's some real stuff right there. Nobody can sneak a contract by you. Here, sign your name right here. Wait, what am I signing? So that registers with you. Getting somebody pregnant, that's something you did on the way to wanting to be engaging in another act. So you are behaving in contradictory fashion. You're starting a family, but refusing to sign a document stating, I want to start a family. You got both sides of your mind. One side of your mind is telling you, maybe we can do this. Another side of your mind is telling you, nigga, you know this ain't the one. And I'm just not going to get wrapped up with her. Well, I'm not going to give the white folks too much ability to enforce this. So it's really just a game you play with yourself. Guys do this. It's really a game you play with yourself, but it is not. It is not anything other than contradiction. And this is why I tell y'all get in bed with chicks who are sexually experienced and emotionally disciplined more so than you are, and then she got you. And you're questioning things. I'm getting the baby with her. Well, I'm sure I want to do that, but if you were sure, you would make sure that she was your wife before you allowed her the privilege of carrying your legacy. Because right now, she's got the ability to do all types of damage with that, and there's no leverage otherwise. A woman is supposed to earn the right to have your kids. And if she's not the woman you want to give your name to, that is your subconscious. I don't even want to say subconscious. That's your psychology telling you. That's your psyche. Your psyche is telling you, we don't really fool with her like that. No, we really don't. She cool people. She hasn't given me any reason to hate her, but you don't have babies with somebody because you don't hate them. You have babies with somebody because she's got a special, unique quality that qualifies her to carry my legacy. And if you won't marry her, that's your psyche saying, yeah, she ain't got, she don't have she's not qualified. She doesn't have everything she needs. She's not qualified. Because when a woman is qualified, a fella knows it right then. It's okay, let me take her off the market. He knows it right then. And if you're reluctant this 2 years later and you haven't made a move to take her off the market, that's because you got doubts. I'm not here to talk you into anything. I'm not here to talk you out of anything. I'm just sitting here saying, I see it for what it is. At this point right now, she's already pregnant. So like I said, you're in that part of it there. But I'm making clear to everybody else, I hear what he's saying and I understand this for what it is. This is conflict. And a lot of you guys are living in this conflict. Y'all are physically bonding yourself to this woman, but refusing to legally do it because there's consequences for the legal part. So you're halfway dipping in, and in the process, you get yourself halfway messed up. Because now they got leverage. But I'm just saying, if you'll be honest with yourself, it's like, okay, how in the world did I end up with these kids? Oh, we was in bed. Okay. Well, why didn't I marry her? Because, I got questions about if I should be doing that. I'm not really trying to do that. Bro, you go to the Justice of the Peace and get married tomorrow. It'll take you all of 10 minutes to sign the documents. You can go to the Justice of the Peace and get married tomorrow. But you're not going to do that. You're not going to do it tomorrow. You're not going to do it next month. And that's what I meant by you're not making up your mind. You've already made up your mind. I'm looking at what you're doing. You've already made up your mind. Already. She's hoping that if she keeps having sex with you, that it will override that. And she's hoping that if she minds her manners, it will override that. And maybe she's been through enough stuff where she's decided, I better button up and fly right because this is the last train leaving. Maybe that's where she is. But I'm just letting you know that I see this for what it is. I'm not condemning it one way or the other. You certainly shouldn't be having kids with folk you ain't married to because that's your way of, that's you acknowledging I ain't really committed to her like that. If you were, then you would go the rest of the way with it. However, I just want you to make your decision. I want you to understand everybody else got their eyes wide open. We can see it for what it is. So hopefully you will get to a point where you are less conflicted, and hopefully you'll get to a point where, you feel a lot more solid about her, where you stop making excuses for leaving her half of a woman. Because she's got your kids, but she doesn't have your name. So she's basically half of a woman.
I really appreciate these words, man.
I mean, you're not in prison.
And I'm soaking it all in.
You're not in prison.
Huh?
You're not in prison and you're not dead, but you're not doing her any differently than the last two guys did. And I wonder if she recognizes that. You're not in prison and you're not dead, but she's in the same situation with you she was with them. She's got a kid and no husband. She's right where she's always been, hoping that this time will be different. Now, y'all will sit here and play games with yourselves and play mental games with yourselves. Oh, this is different. No, it's not. She's right where she's always been. She's still right there. She's got a guy promising her the world. Everybody else said they're going to marry her. Well, the first one got killed. Okay. Well, the second one went to prison. Okay, they all could have married you before they got shot and before they got locked up. They didn't do that. And now we got a third guy. Yeah, we got a kid. Yeah, he ain't marrying you neither. So she's really right where she's always been. If you're really serious in the things you say and you have that kind of faith in her, how in the world is she still right where she was with the last two guys? If this time really is different, why is she still sitting here? Right where she's always been. I want you to take a little bit of time to think about that because she's carrying your legacy. And if your child is born a bastard, just understand that's going to reflect on you. I want you to just think about that. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Please do give us a call again. Caller from area code 312. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is T.Y. from Chicago.
T.Y. from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Jason? I was just listening in, and you guys were talking about younger guys dealing with older women, and it's funny because I'm in the same situation right now. I'm 25 years old, and the woman is 45 years old, and I actually met her through one of my friends. He was messing with her daughter, so I just want your opinion on what do you think her head is at? She's a 45-year-old woman dealing with a 25-year-old man, actually one of her daughter's friends.
Okay, first of all, she messy as hell. That's why you went over there, because you know she lay up like that. And look, I was your age and everything. I've been there and done that when you fellas was trying to figure out what it was. For throughout my 20s, all of my girlfriends were at least 15 years older than I was. Throughout my 20s. So I spent my life, because I wanted women who had their own cars, their own assets, their own businesses. Since I was a young fella, I never wanted a female who was trying to get her weight up and whatnot. I wanted a female who was already there and already had it. I didn't want kids, so it didn't bother me. If she was 40, 45 years old, it didn't bother me because I didn't want kids. So that wasn't a problem for me. I was just like, hey, I'm doing my thing. That was it. So when I was your age, I did the exact same thing, bro. So I know what you're going through. You're trying to prove something to yourself because it's more prestigious to get a younger female. But here's the problem. Them females who deal with younger dudes, in a lot of, for what you're describing here, especially with dudes running in and out the house like that, and this is just her get down. She just sleeps with whoever. And she likes to sleep with younger dudes because she doesn't really have anything to offer them. She's not wife material. And fellas her age ain't gonna fool with her because she done been run through too much.
So let me give you a few of the few stats I learned about her these last couple of weeks. These are just red flags that was popping up in my head. But like, she has a crib, she has a car, two of her kids. She got 6 kids, but only 2 of them live.
Oh, nigga, you already know. Nigga, you already know. 6 kids. Okay, you just went over there because she laying up. That's what you went over.
Hey, Jason,
okay, dude.
Jason, she got the old school Panther tattooed on her too.
Nigga, you found you a 40-something-year-old hood rat, and it's just your turn. It's your turn. So first of all, I never would have dealt with a chick like that in the first place. And back when I was doing the thing, that chick couldn't have called me. She couldn't have mugged me in a parking lot. So let's just keep it real. You didn't. Now, what city are you in?
Chicago.
Okay. Why did I know it was Chicago? I could have guessed that one. I didn't hear him the first time when you said it, but why did I know that was Chicago? You dealing with one of them old middle-aged Chicago hood rats. You dealing with one of them Cabrini Green dropouts. One of them Cabrini Green Chicago South Side. Was she from the South Side or West Side?
No, we on the West Side.
Okay,
West Side fucked up too.
That narrows it down, brother. I know the deal. South Side and the West Side. That's it. So he dealing with one of them West Side hood rats up there in Chicago, and he's like, Jason, it's my turn. I'm like, okay, dude, don't get her pregnant. But the problem is, I don't trust you young cats not to do that. Now, the good news is she's a hood rat, so you're probably scared to stick around too long. So that might be the good news. You might be smart enough not to. I'm not really going to endorse you laying up with her, but I'm going to say, for the love of yourself, don't sit up here and get that heifer pregnant, because you're young. And she probably got kids by a bunch of other young fellas also. And she's going to have all y'all niggas workhorsing for her for the rest of y'all's damn lives. Because you're younger than she is. So
and that's what I figured.
You're going to be hitting your peak earning years. She's already reached her peak earning years. She probably ain't never worked. And now she's declining. You haven't even started yours yet. So she'll be laying in wait in the wings, and when you get a pay raise, she gets a pay raise. So understand what y'all are setting yourselves up for by dealing with that type of chick. She got 6 kids. This heifer is a die-hard, battle-hardened warrior of the sexual conflict.
Yeah, she's been shot before, too. Oh,
dude, I'm sure she's been shot, stabbed, STDs. She's domestic violence. She been beating people. She probably done shot a couple folks. She in and out of Cook County Jail. I mean, niggas, you ain't gonna tell me nothing. She got a rap sheet. Her daughters probably got a rap sheet too. They probably got tats and babies. Ain't I right? Tell me I'm wrong. How many of her kids?
Right.
How many?
Yeah,
so
right.
you actually messing with a grandmama is what you messing with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nigga, you in Chicago. You messing with one of them grandmamas up there in Chicago with the damn, what they say, the Taylor Homes up there. You messing with one of them. And there she is. So I'm just saying, bro, it's your turn. I hope while you up there or whatever, I hope one of them other dudes don't come by, because chicks like that will sit up here and sleep with 3-4 fellas and not say nothing to nobody.
Night that happened.
Last night that happened
That
where?
happened last night. We were 1 o'clock in the morning. Some dude came and knocked on the window. Me and my homie was in there with him and her daughter. We was chilling, and he came 1 in the morning, knocked on the window, and all hell broke loose. We ended up leaving and just.
Wait a minute, you ended up leaving, or you ended up running?
No, we ended up leaving. I mean, we had protection with us, but we just ended up leaving.
Dude, no, this is bull jive, man. So you so desperate to get some ass that you got to go strapped? Dude, do you hear this? This is what I mean by y'all are too damn immature to deal with a single mother. You don't even know how to separate her from the old niggas. You don't even have the leverage to do that. So I'm just saying, you sitting up here in Chicago, because we all know niggas don't get shot every weekend in Chicago. We all know that don't happen. You sitting right here ready to make the damn headlines behind some 40-something-year-old hood rat who is very clearly walking you off into a bunch of mess, and the hoes don't get killed. It's the niggas who shoot each other. Y'all, the dude, if you lucky, you'll kill him and you'll just do 10 years. If you're unlucky, he gonna kill you. And then she's gonna be sleeping up with somebody else before y'all even make it to the station. Before whoever survives gets his mugshot taken, she gonna be laying up with somebody else. This is what I mean by y'all are too young to do this. Y'all don't even know how to do it right. You just trying to figure out, Jason, can you tell me how to lay up? You've already done it. Have you already slept with her? Wake up, nigga.
I hear you.
She must be over there cutting his ass. Wake the hell up, fool.
No, I hear you, Jason. I'm here.
Did you already sleep with her?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, brother, it's not like buying a car. You can't put accessories on it. You can't trade it in for an upgrade. You done already seen what it's like. Cut your damn losses. This is raggedy. This is dangerous. This is everything that y'all ain't supposed to be doing. You acting like it's thrilling. And if you're hanging out with dudes who are enabling you while you're doing this, it's going to end badly for you, bro. You already done seen it. You already done been there and did that. It's time to move on. Get your money straight, get your paper straight, and get you a chick who you don't have to sit up here and wear a damn bulletproof vest to lay up with. Oh, yeah, and one who ain't got a revolving door of niggas at the house. You done been there, you done did that. You done had the experience, and you can find you plenty of females up there in Chicago who are older, who ain't got that much damn drama going on. I got an inbox full of them. You can find plenty of females up there in Chicago ain't got that going on, but if you ain't got nothing going on for you, see, let me go ahead and give y'all the game right quick for you young fellas. Let me just go ahead and lay it out, because this dude right here, bro, I don't know why you're doing this. But for some of y'all who are out here bum hustling, let me go ahead and tell you what the game is. If you are a male in your 20s, Jason, how do I get an older female who ain't a bunch of trouble? Let me tell you what an older female considers sexy in a younger man is maturity. What does an older female consider maturity in a younger male? Being quiet. Show a circle of young men. If there's 4 of you standing in a circle, a woman who is 40 years old, 50 years old, she's going to be looking for the one who ain't talking. The rest of them are going to be talking loud and trying to get attention and this, that, and the other. Older women like a younger man who is quiet and brooding. They consider that to be maturity in a young male.
Quiet and what?
Brooding. Brooding.
Brooding. Okay.
Look it up. That means,
Look it up.
think of it, all I can say is the quintessential example of brooding is Batman. You're looking emotionally disconnected, not looking spaced the hell out. But that you are quiet, you look quiet, you look serious, but you actually look like you got your own thoughts going on in your head. That's brooding.
Right. I understand.
Now, some people consider brooding to be slightly hostile. Okay, fine. But that means you got your own thoughts going on. Older women consider a young man who is quiet, and the word I give you is brooding. When she sees a young guy who's quiet and brooding, that's intriguing to her. Especially if you ain't sagging your pants. If it looks like you got a little bit of paper, it don't take much. If it looks like you got $500 extra in your pocket and you are quiet and brooding, she's going to be intrigued. From there, you're just going to end up fumbling the ball or not. In the chat room, some of the women are telling me I'm spilling the tea. Ladies, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt and the sedan. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt and the sedan. I've been there. If you are a young man who ain't sagging his pants, you dress like a man, not an overgrown toddler, and you look like you got something going for yourself, all you have to be is quiet and brooding. She's going to approach you and try to figure out why you like that. The rest of them are out here still trying to phase out of being a kid. You're already quiet and serious. You got your own thoughts. She's intrigued. And that's really the tip of the iceberg. That's all you need. If you're able to get a woman intrigued, you should be able to close the deal from there. Now, if you open up your mouth and turn her off, that's your problem. But for all you young fellas trying to date an older female, don't let that mess fall for you. Y'all saw me here on the phones. I had a couple of them talking about what they wouldn't do, and you saw me flip that around. But that's because I've been there. So don't let them tell you that. If you don't look like you struggling, they're going to holler at you just like the younger ones will. Because I'm just telling you right now, for guys like me in our 40s, we ain't really checking for a 40-something-year-old female. Let me just keep it real with you. So for those of us in her age group, brother, we ain't checking for her like that. I'm not trying to get with no 6-time loser hood rat in the projects with bullet wounds and tattoos and niggas' fingerprints all over her ass. I'm not trying to do that. I'm not offering her anything, and neither is anybody else. Bruh, she wide open for y'all. I've got a bunch of LPNs and paralegals out here and government employees. Bruh, we ain't trying to take them off the market. They wide open for you young cats. But they're at an age where they want some tangibles. It don't take much. Bruh, if you got an extra $100, you in. If you have your own car and your own apartment and an extra $100, you in. She doesn't have better options. She got to take what she can get. I'm giving you all the real. This is the inside baseball. She got to take what she can get. I'm giving you insider trading. And a lot of y'all don't know that. So y'all go off and go get the bottom of the damn barrel, which is what you laying up with. I'm not going to crucify you over it, but bro, let that go. You got more options. Shout out Huncho Jack. Before anybody gets upset with me, shout out Huncho Jack. Brother, you got more options. You're 25 years old. You got way more options. Right now, you scraping the bottom of the damn barrel. You supposed to be getting, right now, when I was dating chicks like that, bro, they were buying me things. They were making car payments for me. They were making car payments for me. They were buying clothes for me. That's what I was dealing with. And I'm saying at your age, in the 21st century, bro, you ought to have 2 of them. And that's the other thing about older chicks. They're not going to give you no problem about talking to more than one female either if you are beneficial enough, and it don't take much. She been there and done that. She's not really going to be possessive like that. As a matter of fact, she's going to assume that at 25 years old, you sleep with another female. She's only going to be most and foremost concerned because at this point in her life, she's practical. She don't give a damn about love. She wants to know what's the benefit of sleeping with your little young ass. As soon as she identifies the benefit of it, she ain't gonna ask no other questions. It's not gonna be like them chicks your age. A 25-year-old chick your age in Chicago's gonna try to kill your ass if she finds out you talking to another female. She's gonna go through your damn cell phone. A 40-year-old, 50-year-old female ain't gonna do that. She's not checking your phone. She's not calling no numbers. She ain't fighting with no hoes in the street. She ain't doing all that, except the ones you talking to now. Bruh, the kind I'm trying to tell you about, she ain't gonna do all that. She's not doing all of that. She's assuming at 25 years old, you got some other chick that she's the side chick or whatever. She's like, I'm not worried about that. She's already been through a lifetime of that experience. That's not gonna break her damn heart. Right now, she's at an age where she realizes love don't mean a damn thing. Where's the tangibles? And you young fellas don't focus on the tangibles. Y'all are so busy trying to get something in the bed. You're chasing females, which is what you called me for. I want to chase females. Bruh, get your bag straight so you don't have to chase females. You attract females. The females are standing still and y'all are running around like bugs around a lantern. Get your paper straight and you can stand still and the females are going to come to you of all ages. And you can pick and choose and it don't take much. It don't take much, but y'all are not giving yourselves the edge. You're not giving yourselves any advantage. This time you spending wasting with these dudes running around with hood rats. If you would get your money straight, bruh, you're going to get something a hell of a lot better. She'll be dropping money with you as opposed to putting your damn life in graveyard chances. So I'm just letting you know right now, to all the young fellas out there in your 20s and you want to know, Jason, how can I date an older female? Brothers, they out there for the taking. They're out there for the having. They're going to put up resistance when you show up because she knows most of y'all are going to show up trying to get sex. You need to work on attracting them and not chasing them. I have the hardest damn time convincing y'all to do that. So you end up dealing with scummy ass hood rats like the one you talking about. Get your paper right. Get your status right. It ain't hard. And then from there, you got leverage to negotiate. They're going to holler at you. You're not going to have to fight for it. They're going to holler at you. And if you do see one you want to talk to, she's going to be very receptive. Now, she's going to put up some fake resistance because she's got to, because she wants to know where your head is at. She wants to know if you're going to try to immediately approach her pushing up on them draws. That's what she's going to want to see. Because she gets that from young fellas all the time. A woman of the age of 40 is constantly being approached by younger dudes. I'm telling y'all right now, most of them have slept with a younger fella because they thought he might have had something going for him, not because he was the best option, because she ain't got better options. Okay, that's the insider trading I'm giving you. That's what's really going on that she's not telling you. When they put up resistance, it's because they're used to young fellas approaching them but not having nothing to offer. So she just flicks you back. Okay, you ain't serious. You just want some sex. I'm not giving up sex no more. What she's saying in her head is I ain't sleeping with nobody else without benefits. Without something tangible on the table for me. And if you young fellas figure that out, then when you talk to these females, it's going to go a lot easier for you. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I lived. But right now, all you got is low standards and your homeboy's rusty ass handgun. At some hood rat's house. It's time to step your game up, bruh. It's time to step your game up. I'm not telling you ain't got to chase older females. Chase them all, brother. Chase them all. Do whatever you're going to do, but stop chasing. Start attracting. Get with them all. Get out them damn housing projects, bruh. And that's taking your stock down. That's taking your stock down. Get out them damn housing projects. That's not where you need to be at. That's devaluing yourself. Now you the fella chasing hood rats at the housing projects. Get out them projects. You can do better than that. You can do much better than that, but you got to put that onus on yourself. You got to put that responsibility on yourself. Y'all sitting up here with chicks got other niggas coming around. Dude, you don't know what dude got. You don't know that she dealing with some other sprung nigga and This is the best ass he done ever had, and he's emotionally immature, and he's ready to go to prison for the rest of his damn life because he's in love, and he was raised by a single mama, and he's immature as hell, and he's ready to shoot 3 or 4 people behind this heifer, and after he shoots y'all, he's gonna break down crying in front of her. Why you make me kill all of them like that? I love you. Nigga, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. I'm listening.
Get your act together, bro. I'm not telling you guys stop doing it. Get your act together so you can get a higher caliber of female, bro. There's a bunch of them out there. If you put the next 12 months into it, bro, you can have whatever the hell you want to. I'm just trying to explain to you how to deal with the game correctly. This is how you steer the car correctly. Right now, you've been driving with your damn toes. Here's how you drive with your pimp hand. Understand what the game really is. It's not that hard. You're on the bottom of the barrel right now. If you want to run through them older chicks, run through them. Let's do this the right way. And if he doesn't listen, if he ain't listening to all you younger fellas out there listening to me right now, I just gave you the inside game on how to make it happen. I'll let you have the last word.
I just want to thank you so much, Jason. Brothers like you, Tariq, and Professor Black Truth, y'all gave me a good start on, starting my young life as a black man. So I really appreciate you guys for that, and I'm gonna be forever grateful. And be one.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight here. Now, to the young fellas, I'm not here to dissuade you nothing. The ladies are in the chat room saying, Jason, you shouldn't be saying that. Hey, it is what it is. It's not like it's going to be an avalanche of them getting their act together. But to the 1 or 2 who are out there and whatnot, I made the business so that I could sprinkle you with a little bit of the game about that. So you just understand it's like this dude's getting ready to get shot, chasing behind somebody's hood rat grandmama. That's not the way you play the game. That's not the way you do it. 25 years old and is getting ready to get into a damn shootout over somebody's hood rat grandmama. Okay, he wanted to get that experience. You wanted to get that notch on your belt. You wanted to get that trophy on the case. All right, you got it. It's time to cut bait. It's time to go. We done been there. We done did that. There's better options out there. You got more options. Don't be scared to exercise your options. Caller from area code. Okay, I had a call on the line. Caller from area code 314. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, what's going on, Jason? This is Gabriel calling from St. Louis.
Gabriel from St. Louis. What's on your mind, brother?
Man, I just want to, it's kind of funny we talking about this situation tonight, to kind of speak on what the young fella just called in about taking a gun to a girl he's talking to her house. It was a situation out here in St. Louis that happened this week where it was a guy who got shot and killed where the female, she let, I guess it was her baby daddy or something like that, in the house while there was another guy in the bed sleeping. And the guy who walked in got mad and shot and killed him and everything like that. And it was just like this whole, big story and everything like that. And my thing is, man, if you messing with a chick like that, or even if you feel like you messing with a chick like that, why even do it? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they're young.
Life in danger.
I mean, understand, they're young. He's 25 years old. He doesn't have a lot of sexual experience. Sex is new to him. And being able to choose a female to have sex is brand new. So he's not handling it correctly. He's choosing the low-hanging fruit. He's trying to get an easy win, which is what a lot of dudes start doing. Once they go from having no wins and they start trying to get easy wins, he hasn't learned that there's a quality of play. You don't go for easy wins. You go for quality, not quantity. He's going for quantity, and he's out here having trap house sex. He's having trap house sex. I mean, taking a gun with you to a place, that's what you do at the trap house. You ain't supposed to do that to lay up with a female. That's not supposed to be happening.
Yeah, nah, you definitely ain't supposed to be doing that. And like, I'm young too. I'm 25 years old myself. But, you know, I was, you know, I was born with two parents. My dad, he always warned me about that shit. Because my dad grew up in the projects out here in St. Louis. And fortunately, he, you know, he had the mindset to get out. And he warned me again. A lot of the things that I didn't listen to when I was younger, that my dad was telling me in high school and everything like that, man, I'm starting to realize that how true all of that stuff is. Like, and it's crazy how, you know, I'm 25 years old. I'm just getting my own spot. You know, I'm really trying to get set into, you know, my whole, my own business and everything like that. And it's just like, you know, listen to you know, if you know you got good parents, man, listen to them. You know, some and even some of the older folks that do give you good game. I know you preach, you know, some of these older niggas, you know, you can't listen to them, but it's a couple of them out there that's giving good game, you know, and the one that you can resonate with, listen to it. But
I mean, but dude, brother, we got fellas out here. We got fellas out here wearing bulletproof vests, going to spots with a 38 special, and having to leave the lights on to have sex with some scummy ass hood rat like that. That's that trap house sex I'm talking about. And it really only devalues the guy, because once you get used to doing that, it's hard to break you of that. Because once you start getting easy wins, or should I say what you think are easy, and you get accustomed to having gutter sex and trap house sex, that's really where a lot of fellas stay. Especially if it's young. If he doesn't have any higher aspirations for himself, you know, he's sitting here, what's that? Y'all are taking a string and putting some cans on it by the front door or whatever. No, that's not what it's supposed to be. That's not what it's supposed to be. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Please do give us a call again. Now, a bunch of you fellas out here, y'all having boys in the hood sex. I'm just saying, you giving up power to her and willing to get into a situation where other dudes are coming around. Fellas, if a man is talking to more than one female, that's different. Another woman ain't gonna be able to come in and just kill everybody in the damn room. You sitting here with a chick, she talking to a fella 3-time felon. You don't know nothing about it, or, I mean, that's really basically like an ambush. That's really like an ambush. We're hearing about rappers getting robbed and rappers getting shot, and then some female around. Y'all are letting folk walk you off into ambushes, being desperate for sex, desperate for easy sex, desperate for whoever in the world lets you lay up. You got to get your value up so that you're not stuck in a situation where you just got to sleep with whoever will let you lay up. You doing this because it's, well, she let me in. No, you're supposed to be doing better than that. Caller from area code 419. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Joe. I'm calling from Toledo, Ohio.
Joe from Toledo. What's on your mind?
Jason, I always say that you keep it 100%. And this topic that you are talking about tonight, which amazes me about you, how you always break it down in multiple angles for your listeners, and then your listeners call in to ask you questions, and then you break it down for them, and it enhances their life fully, all the topics that you bring forward for them. So being as though that you always keep it that way, the single mothers today, like you just said, they are definitely danger, Will Robinson, and that's how I feel about that. And when you are too young to be with a single mother, you know, these single mothers, they are emotionally unstable. And you are showing and telling everybody tonight on multiple angles of your topic. And I'd like to say thank you very much. B1, keep on pushing your message, Jason.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I mean, he's correct. Most single mothers are emotionally unstable, which is how they ended up being single mothers in the first place. And she needs to deal with a fella who knows how to keep her in a position where she's not going to harm him or herself. Because most single mothers are like parasites. Let's just call it for what it is. She's trying to figure out what she can get. And she needs to deal with a fella who's going to be able to keep that in check. She go off and go grab some little young dude like my 25-year-old fella from Chicago. She got his ass with a bunch of others. There's a bunch of young dudes lined up at the damn front door like a bunch of ants. And they're not smart enough to say, this is a setup. Got a whole damn front door of ants lined up and can't tell this is a setup. That's what I mean by y'all don't need to be going over there. If you're 25 years old and you can't see an ambush or a setup, or you just walk into it anyway, you don't need to be in this situation. You're not equipped to deal with this woman. You walking off goofy and stupid into ambushes. That fella came knocking on that door. That was an ambush. And she's sitting there looking around all crazy. That's an ambush. I can't trust you to not walk off into that. So I just got to tell you now, you just can't deal with it. Y'all just can't deal with it all. You just, all of y'all young fellas, just stay away from this because you're not equipped to deal with it. Caller from area code 561. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Thomas. I'm calling out of Montgomery, Alabama.
Thomas out of Montgomery, Alabama. What's on your mind?
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to go back to what you was talking about before, because about like basically women punishing losers. Because I mean, a lot of dudes kind of get it twisted because you know a lot of people got this fake ideal of having a so-called ride or die. And I mean, you know, having a chick that's there to support you and whatnot is nice, but for the most part, dudes need to kind of get that out of their head that, you know, some chick is just going to stick around when you're failing. Like, you have to be able to show progression and upward mobility, not just sticking around staying the same, or even worse, going, you know, heading deeper into poverty and then expecting some girl just to stick around, you know, just because you were able to lay up and have sex with her. My thing is, I wonder where that comes from. Why is there an expectation for a lot of dudes? I mean, I don't have it. You know, if I'm not able to provide for some chick or bring some benefits to her while we're talking, like, even if it's a so-called casual situation, like, I don't expect her to stick around for what? If I'm not bringing that to you, why would you even want to be around me? Like, I would kind of look at you kind of crazy anyway. But I wonder what causes dudes to think that some chick is supposed to just stick around just because.
Because they're raised by single mothers, which means they're raised with a contradiction. A woman believes that her value comes from her presence. A man's value comes from his accomplishments. But because she is a single woman, she is raising her son with, she has the expectation that he will have his value from doing, while at the same time teaching him that he has value simply from being. So she teaches the son through her words and her actions what he should expect from the world. So he grows into manhood, never making a priority of accomplishments, believing because she's told him, either through her words or her actions or both, that he's got intrinsic value, that people should love you for you. While she knows damn well she got 3 babies by 3 different dudes, and she left all 3 of them or got run off because they wouldn't do anything for her. So she knows this, right. But she doesn't teach her son this. She teaches her son what she teaches her daughters and what she wishes to believe in herself, while simultaneously expecting him to do the opposite. But she's not telling him that part. So she's saying people should love you for you, and then she criticizes him when they don't love him unless he produces. Well, you supposed to be producing. Well, you wait till this nigga is 28 years old to tell him he needs to start producing. So that's what's happening. We got 3 generations of that now. These boys are raised to manhood under this perpetual contradiction. That's how we got here.
And I mean, that ties into one of your chapters of the Dark Art of the Game about, I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's basically women being unreliable sources of information in the dating game. And I mean, to be honest, I mean, that was the first time I've ever heard nobody, because I mean, I knew that, but it's just one of those things where even though you understand a concept, you've never heard somebody explain it, you know, in a concise and succinct way that is able to be understood by everybody. Because I remember listening to that, and I was like, whoa. Because I mean, like I said, I knew it, but it was like, wow, I've never heard nobody actually like come out and explain it, you know, using, you know, easy verbiage to understand. And it's just a lot of dudes, like, if you're growing up with a single mom and you're listening to her tell you like how to date women and whatnot, like you're going to be running around in circles. Like, and it's always confusing to me watching a dude allow a woman to lead him, and then yet he's sitting there wondering why nothing's getting done. Like, this isn't saying that, you know, women are incapable, you know, in some way or form, but they're meant to be led. You can't be confused why there's no accomplishment when you're being led by your woman.
Well, no, I mean, women don't. I mean, here's the problem, brother. No, it's not about you don't want to say something. Women don't lead. A woman doesn't lead a man. If a woman attempts to lead a man, it will be disaster. It's going to be disaster. Right. If a woman attempts to lead a man, it will be disaster. Right now, we have a situation where you have a bunch of brain-dead, dumbass, ignorant females running around trying to tell people that they can lead. But the second that things go bad, the first thing they say is, where the men at? They should have been here. So we have to deal with this foolishness all the time. Women don't build. Women don't lead. And the sooner that you accept that, then you're going to start having order and organization. But if you tell the boys that there's going to be a woman who's going to lead and a woman who's going to build and is 50-50, then that's when things are going to fall the hell apart. It's going to fall apart when that happens. And the women, because the government has subsidized it subsidized them undermining the authority of the men. So the women are playing a major part in promoting this nonsense, but then they create men that they don't want. Find a single mother, show me her son, I'll show you a bunch of things lacking, and then she'll be upset with you when he doesn't produce. And understand, boys don't pay attention to, when it comes to women, they don't listen to what their mother says, they look at what their mother does. Her example is what he will follow, not her advice. Let's be very clear about that. Ladies, your sons will follow your example, not your advice. If you smoking and drinking,
that way.
If you're smoking because as males, we are driven by what we do. We learn by doing. We are doers. We are mechanical. We are logical. We are going to follow her example, not her advice. And if she's smoking and drinking, that's going to be the kind of female that we are comfortable around. By experience, by environment, by example, we understand it. We are not going to gravitate to the foreign. We are going to gravitate to the familiar. And the only thing that will break that is a bunch of bad experiences. But as males, okay, everybody are visual creatures. Men are not visual creatures. Women go for pink draws and embroidery. They're the most visual creatures in the universe. Men are not visual creatures. Women are the most visual creatures in the universe. They are creatures of ornamentation. There's nothing more visual than ornamentation. But as males, as men, we go by what we see. We go by the example that is set. We go by action, not by accessories. We take a look at the example, we take a look at the physical work, and that is what forms our opinions, our thoughts, our positions, our dispositions. That's what we base it on. The example. What you see, shop classes, mechanics classes, woodworking classes. What do you see? You see the boys and the men standing around watching. Mixed martial arts classes. We learn by watching examples. We learn from example. We learn from what you do. This is why when you talk about fighting sports and wrestling and whatnot, we will learn more in 60 seconds of doing than in 60 days of being told. Basketball, same thing. They'll learn much more from getting involved and doing it
90
than
seconds.
they ever will from somebody telling them. So as women, we don't pay attention to your words. As boys, we're not watching your words. We're soaking up your actions. I'm from Louisiana. If you got a female in the family and whatnot, and she played dominoes, she throw them bones, he's going to be telling stories for the rest of his life about how he used to watch his mama sitting in the backyard with everybody throwing dominoes. He'll be telling those stories for the rest of his life. And he'll be perfectly comfortable with it. I'm from the South. I've been seeing women like that my whole damn life. That's why when old girl from the Carolinas called up talking about she wanted a Newports and a natural ice, I'm like, okay, that don't scare me. I've been seeing that my whole life. I've been seeing it my whole life. It's not scary to me.
That's right.
I've been watching this. I've seen it. So as males, that's why you have that contradiction. Because if there was a solid example of manhood, then he would be emulating that solid example of manhood. What you've got is this Frankenstein monster of female intrinsic value being imposed on a male accomplishment organism. And so you've got this double-minded schizophrenic individual who only has value from what he does. He can only feel respected by what he does, but he doesn't know how to do anything. And so he's pleading for respect on the grounds of, well, I'm standing here. Shouldn't you just love me for me? And that's where you are. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much summed it up. And I mean, anybody that grew up in the South, I mean, I was born and raised in South Florida. I've called in before, talked about me being from Boynton and whatnot. And I know you've been through Boynton. So, I grew up around them type of women and the dudes who were the child of those kind of women. I mean, and that's pretty much how they turn out. So, yeah, man, I just want to say you're killing the game right now. You're breaking it down in a way that just makes it easily understood. And, yeah, be one.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. Gonna see about taking one or two more phone calls here before we wrap it up. Let me get caller from area code 240. You're on live with Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Damon from Southern Maryland.
Damon from where at Maryland?
Charles County, Maryland.
Okay, give me a city, Damon.
Waldorf.
Waldorf, Maryland. What's on your mind?
I got not a question, but I was wondering if this was a good idea. With the recent police shootings and stuff like that, would it be prudent that every Black American, foundational Black American, get a list of their local police department workers,
okay,
the
brother,
people that work at the police department?
Well, brother, right now on the business, we're discussing something a bit different, okay? So you've been on the line for a little while. Did you have something you wanted to discuss germane to what we're talking about here, brother?
All right, well, if that's the case, I got another question.
Okay.
Can I ask another question then?
Sure. If it's germane to what we've been speaking about tonight, what you're talking about now,
it's germane.
We'll probably get to that tomorrow night, but we're talking about something different now.
When you're with a woman who does everything, not does everything, but does all the stuff you need, but she just is not fitting the bill as far as her finances are always up and down, and her job is always up and down, but she does everything as far as taking care of the man. It's almost hard to stop seeing those type of women. What do you suggest in those type of situations?
Well, first of all, I'm going to give you the same advice that I would give any woman. Make sure you are not greedy. One of the most dangerous things that you can become is a person who is impossible to please. That you always want more. That you have a good thing, you have something that's fitting all the bills, but maybe the grass is greener on the other side and you don't think of it that way. But if you become a person who cannot be pleased, there's always a newer pasture on the other side of the hill. And we're always fantasizing that newer pasture is there's must probably something better over there. I wonder if there's something better over there. And you can spend your whole life running from one place to another. So I would advise anybody, yes, there are situations where you've outgrown the person and they have inadequacies that are just a bridge too far, and I can understand that. But the first thing I would advise you is look at yourself and ask yourself, am I a person who cannot be pleased? Am I doing this because the situation is intolerable and it's stifling my growth? Or am I doing this because I feel like, let me see if there's something better out there. Let me see if there's anything else. Maybe I can get something different. That's a very, very deceptive thing to fall into. There's a lot of women out there. One of the biggest mistakes that women make, which is why so many are unmarried today, is they get in a situation, even if they find a good one, and then they start looking for something else. Well, let me see if I can find something better. You haven't even gotten comfortable where you are. So I would advise, unless it's a situation that is stifling your growth as a person, unless it's taking you down, before you make that move, and I'm not saying that move doesn't need to be made, but make sure you do a gut check and say, is this really necessary? Is it stifling my growth? Am I a person who cannot be pleased? That if you give me everything I want, I'm still coming back and saying, yeah, but it could always be better. I could always have more. That's what I would say.
All right. Well, thank you. That helps a lot.
Very deceptive.
I appreciate everything you do for everybody, and be one.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. As women and men, we have to be aware of that and cognizant of it and watchful of it. You might be a person that no matter how much you're given, you say, yeah, but I can get more. And everywhere you go, it's about, well, I can get more. And you spend your life chasing more and never actually establishing roots. So that you never get to a point of enjoying anything because you're always running on, well, let me get more. Can I get more? If it's stifling your growth as a person, if it's diminishing you, yeah, I understand that. That makes sense. Just beware of being a person that nobody and nothing can please. Gonna take one more call. Area code 401. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, this is me again. This is Q from Providence. Sorry for the background noise I caught about the single moms. I apologize for that.
Okay, what's on your mind?
My other question was, what do you think about interracial dating? You know, black man, you know, I'm very successful in Providence, but a lot of white women are choosing, and it's hard to get with the sisters. Like, what's your advice on that? I have family in Dallas. Do you think I should move? Because I think in Texas, a lot of black women are more open, and, you know, they choose a lot over there for the black men. What's your advice on that?
Bro, you said the white women are choosing and it's hard to get with the black women. Black women's
the black women out here are on Section 8 or have multiple kids, basically.
Okay. And where exactly is that?
Rhode Island.
Okay. In Rhode Island. First of all, brother, there's hood rats everywhere. There's also trailer trash everywhere also. So that doesn't really carry a whole lot of weight with me.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that if you're not attracting the right kind of women where you are, first and foremost, we gotta look at you. Gotta look at you. Because I guarantee you there's a bunch of black men up there where you are, right there in Rhode Island, and they're getting what they want. So if you're not getting that, that's a different matter. So let me ask you here, what do you do for a living up there?
I do private security.
Okay, and how old are you?
35.
Okay, you're 35 years old, and how long have you been doing private security?
Oh, 10 years. I own my own firm, my contracting firm.
Okay.
I contract to a marijuana dispensary.
Okay, that's a long time to be doing that, which is good there. How many kids do you have?
No kids.
Okay, no kids is fine. Where are your people originally from?
My dad's from Liberia and my mom is from North Carolina, from Gastonia.
There we go. Okay, so because to talk like that about black women, that's immigrant talk. That is not foundational black American talk. We got some folk who's sitting up here, and that's that Akala talk. That is not solid black American talk. That's that Akala talk. So I would really strongly advise you to start doing some real questioning about how you came to some of these expressions that you're having. Because something that you said from the very beginning, when you said it, my ears perked up from the very beginning when you said it. When you said, because these white women be choosing, you said that like that was something special. You said that like it was something novel.
Mm-hmm.
You said that like that is something special and novel. Bruh, white women are choosing everywhere, and so are black women, and so are Latinas, and so are Asians. Women are choosing everywhere. Why are we giving some special...
No, I'm talking about white women who are lawyers and doctors, and, I meet a lot of, professional women, doctors and lawyers who are very choosing. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so what you're
I
telling
never
me...
experienced this before.
So you're telling me that there are no black female doctors or attorneys available in the state of Rhode Island? Are you really saying that?
No.
Okay.
I swear to God, no, Jason.
Okay, because
Google researcher is rare.
Brother, I'll walk up there and show you.
Okay, you could. I'll show you around there, and if you can find one, I'll give you $1,000.
Dude, I don't need you to show me around nothing, but here's the thing I want you to understand. See, there was another chick of immigrant background out there in California who calls me Liz. I gotta check up with Liz and see what she's up to. Haven't heard from you in a minute, Liz. Where you at? I think I found a match for you, Liz. I think I found a match, brother.
Yeah, Liz. Come on at me, Liz.
Yeah, let me keep your information, bro, because I think we finally found Liz's match. I think we finally did.
Okay.
I feel better about this.
Yeah, bring her my way. I'll show her.
I'm feeling better about it the whole time. I think we found a match for Liz. But Liz was saying the same thing, only her thing was, black men in America don't like dark-skinned black women. So
I'm not going to comment on that, but...
Well, I've already taken her to the woodshed on that, but what I'm saying here is understand something. If her problem was she didn't understand that that men can feel that energy emanating from her. First of all, they expect it. They expect it and they assume it. So they can see that energy coming from. When you have hostility toward black men, we can feel that energy gushing out of you from the words you say, the topics you talk about. It becomes clear, you got an issue against us. So that's going to color and influence how the men respond to you. Brother, with the way you came out the gap here, there is none whatsoever chance that you are not displaying that energy and that contempt for black women out the gate. There's no way that's not happening. The very first words out of your mouth gave preferential esteem to white women and immediately put the boots to black women. So there's no way you're not doing this, even non-verbally in the real world. There's no way that's not happening. So that's going to affect how black women respond to you immediately, right out the gap. You don't dig them? Well, guess what? They don't dig you either. You got beef with them, they got beef with you right off the rip. Because you're already hostile.
You're right, Jason. And my thing is, Jason, you're right. I was raised by my single mom, and I could tell you that me and her never had a good relationship. So there's kind of some, hostility. So I look at her. She's a black ADOS woman, and I look at her kind of like, because she treated me disrespectfully, didn't care about me. So that's why, Jason.
Okay, and that's understandable. What you have to understand is that the biggest part about manhood is establishing your own worldview separate and apart from your parents and their experiences. Whatever happened to her to make her the way she is, that is her experience. Those are her demons that she is holding on to. You're not supposed to allow her to make her demons into yours. And that's what you've done. She was taking out that hostility on you.
Jason.
And instead of you saying, you know what, Ma, I don't have to drag you down the street from the back of a pickup truck, but I don't have to carry your demons around with me either. So all that hostility and animosity you got, that's going to be something you got to keep with you. I'm not carrying that. The stuff I can use, I'll take that. But this little grimy stuff you doing over here, I'm divorced from that. I don't carry that around with me. I've got a better way. And every generation is supposed to improve on the bloodline. Letting go of some of these idiocies and idiosyncrasies that your parents pick up and whatnot, letting those go is how you improve the gene pool. So this is your opportunity to improve that, if you will.
And one thing before I go, Jason, I'm the only child, Jason. She's 74. She got cancer. And, I listened to your previous broadcast about the civil rights. She doesn't want to hear it. And he's like, damn them niggas, just forget about them. But it's just so hard, as a only child. I want to help her out, and I can't let her go, Jason. So it just kind of,
I didn't say that. I didn't say damn them niggas and let them go. I'm saying that part of her contribution to your personality, that's the part you need to let go of.
Okay,
I just said you don't have to drag her you don't have to drag her down the street from the back of a Ford F-150. But these negative things that she's introduced, you got to throw up a wall and say, yeah, we're not letting that in. Not dealing with that. I'm not taking that over here. Because take a look at how it's colored your life. Take a look at how it's affected you. I mean, you're literally up the street from New York City. Like I said, they got a bunch of wacky broads up there. I'll be the first one to tell you about that. I love chicks from New York when they act like they got some damn sense. I love chicks from New York. They got a different type of style about them, a different type of swag about them. I like chicks from New York. They got a good personality to them when you catch the right one.
Mm-hmm.
But women are going to respond to the energy that you put out there as a man. Now, there might be a limit to what she can do, but she's going to respond to the energy you put out there. And a lot of women, most black women they crap test men right out the gate. And I know that can be a little upsetting and frustrating sometimes. But black women as a group don't really know how to deal with men. The only way they know how to deal with men is really by testing them. And so you have to understand that walking in the gate, that's what you're dealing with right there. Now, by the same token, once she's broken in, she'll be a model citizen. But if you're not the kind of guy to do that, understand that's going to be an issue. Now, by the same token, all women crap test men. White women are the biggest in the world about it. While you sitting up here caping, white women are the biggest crap testers in the world. I did tonight's broadcast talk about how women punish failure. White women punish failure ruthlessly. Take a look at Kim Kardashian. Her whole family, these are a bunch of broads who punish failure with a guillotine. They are ruthless in punishing failure. I've done this for years, and I have to remind y'all, Newt Gingrich's mother, former Speaker of the House, his mother, when his father was messing up, punished failure. Stone Cold Steve Austin. As you all know, his real birth name is Steve Williams. And the relationship with his stepfather, he kind of had issues with that, but you ain't got no choice because your biological father, your mama, let it be known. This dude ain't doing nothing. I'm cutting him loose. I found me Mr. Williams over here. And he's gonna get the job done. There's some benefits over here. And his birth father got cut from the team. They are ruthless about that. When you stop producing, they are ruthless. And for black men, if you stop producing, don't be surprised if she puts your ass in jail for it. As soon as you stop producing, all of a sudden you become that nigga. She might have said that once or twice. You know how some of you dudes are. Some of y'all fellas who these white women be choosing. Y'all okay if y'all get in the bed and she's like, "Oh, give it to me, nigger." Okay, that stuff's cute. When y'all in bed, you let that go. You let that go when you're in bed with her. But then when she figures, okay, you ain't gonna produce anymore, she's just gonna explode on you one night and start talking to you crazy. And then it's like, my father told me about getting with a nigga like you. All of a sudden, she gives you the bad Barbie treatment. Diana Bregoli, is that her name? Whatever her name is, that Bregoli treatment. Danielle Bregoli, she give you that treatment. All of a sudden, she starts yanking out the nigga on you. And she knows all she got to do is make a phone call. So she yanks out her white privilege on you. You're never going to meet a black female who's going to yank out white privilege on you. That ain't going to happen. Your white females, if they get upset with you, if you start failing, get ready to meet white privilege head on. That's the way it always ends. Shout out to Seal. I've been doing this the whole damn broadcast night. Shout out to Seal. Kissed by a rose and nothing else after that. Heidi Klum let him know who the nigga was. Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't supposed to remind you about that. And the way Heidi treats them children. They abuse the children to screw up the African genome. When Seal stopped winning, when Seal was on top of the world, she was cheesing big as hell to be with him. Soon as he stopped winning, now he wants to come out. Well, she was calling me racial names. Oh, nigga, you was there. You was there for it, though. You were there for it. Don't come whining now. You were there for it. Let's just say it like it is. You was cool with it. And you thought you had her wrapped around your finger. She was there while you were winning. Soon as you started losing, soon as you started failing, Heidi showed you what she thought. Here come that white privilege. Cuba Gooding Jr. Terrence Howard. We can go down the list. Hollywood is littered with niggas who got with Becky's and it was all smooth sailing until he started losing. And then it flipped. But she was like that the whole time. It didn't really flip. Being selectively nearsighted. Oh, you thinking you gonna pull something slick. I'm gonna give me a white chick because they're a status symbol. I'm gonna give myself a rationale for doing it. Well, these black women is too difficult to deal with. And everybody talks that crap until she whips out her white privilege on you. You stop producing, you start losing, or she sees an opportunity to upgrade. And let me tell you, y'all talk about the court system sitting up here running men for their money. Who do you think are the women who built that court system? They built it so when they get ready to cash out, they can cash you in. You don't hear about a bunch of black women. Black women ain't able to do that. I got niggas out here upset because they got to pay $1,000 a month in child support. This nigga trying to act like he's a millionaire getting run like it's California. Nigga, you paying $200 a damn week. Sit your ass down somewhere.
But Jason, in today's society for black men, getting a white woman is basically a trophy.
It's always been a trophy. That's not today.
Get a white girl, you be a trophy.
That's not today, bro. That's always been the way it's been. It's not today. That's always been the way it is. That's not new.
Okay. All right.
Now that's the status quo. White women have always been a trophy and a status symbol because that's conquering the white man's territory. So that's always the way it's been, and that's always the way it's going to be. But you need to understand that you don't conquer white women. That's the thing I'm trying to get you to understand. You do not conquer white women. When you get into bed with a white woman, it's a power dynamic, and she got the power.
Right. But I'm thinking if I'm, in bed with the white woman, like, I'm just, I just want to, F her. I'm thinking like
there's no
back in the
such
day,
thing.
like
There's
how,
no such thing. That's the problem. There is no such animal. Jack Johnson found that out. Malcolm X found that out. You don't have casual sex with a white woman. I just explained to you, sex is a power dynamic. You don't use a white woman for sex. You know why? Because she's always in control. She can flip that damn thing on you anytime she wants to. She's in the superior position when she gets into bed with you. She can extract resources either by request or by force. And she can punish you either by request or by force. So when you get into bed with a white woman as black men, y'all get confused. You get into bed and think we just two people having sex. No, you're a black male having sex with a white woman. That's a power dynamic. When a black woman gets into bed with a white man, he's running it. Not because he's a man, but because he's a white male. When a black male gets into bed with a white woman, no matter how much money you make, no matter how well known you are, that white woman is the one in charge. Shout out Bill Cosby.
Woo!
Let me send a shout out to Bill Cosby right quick. Just in case any of you were wondering, you could be one of the richest black men, most powerful, well-known black men who's ever lived, and some raggedy ass, failed, washed up, wrinkled ass white woman can jump up 30 years later and destroy your damn life. And there will be nothing you can do to stop it. And she knows she can do it not because she's a woman. She knows her whiteness can at any time turn sex into a violation that she can use against you in a way that no black woman will ever be able to use against a white man. Shout out Stacey Dash. Shout out Halle Berry. They thought they had some female privilege to flex and found out you ain't got none. You too black to have any female privilege. You got no female privilege. The white women have white privilege. There is no female privilege. There's white privilege and nothing. O.J. Simpson did not get lucky. O.J. Simpson had his whole life destroyed because this woman was sleeping with other men. She got killed under mysterious circumstances. Many of us believe he didn't have nothing to do with that based on the evidence and the people that Nicole Brown was fooling around with. And ultimately, O.J. paid the price because she claimed he assaulted her and they were waiting in the wings to get him, and they kept going at him and going at him and going at him until they finally got him. For those of you who are too young or weren't paying enough attention to realize it, remember that first and foremost, O.J. got arrested for the Nicole Brown killing. Well, first there was domestic violence stuff. Nothing came of that because he was winning when that happened. But once he stopped winning, your wife got killed. All of a sudden, a washed-up old football player became the damn trial of the century. How the hell that happened? That was payback for the L.A. riots. O.J. Simpson's trial was supposed to be payback for the L.A. riots. And Johnny Cochran derailed that. But they didn't let that go because for those of you who remember, O.J. Simpson got caught up in two other issues where the media was talking about, he could go to prison for years. Oh, y'all forgot about those two incidents. Let me remind you. Number one, I'm not going to take them in chronological order. I'm going to take them in order of severity. Number one, remember that he was accused of stealing cable, that he had hooked up a bootloader. Go look that up for yourselves. Don't believe me? Start Googling it. O.J. Simpson, after he got acquitted on that trial, this is before he got convicted for stealing his own stuff. In between that time, they kept going at him. Remember, he got investigated. The police came out. talking about he was stealing cable because he had hooked up a bootloader. Look it up for
Wow.
yourselves. He was accused of stealing cable because he hooked up a bootloader. Then you'll remember that there was another, and they were talking about, oh, he could go to jail for years, for prison, for stealing cable. This was on the damn news. They were just salivating. Get him for something, damn it. Who the hell goes to jail, to prison for stealing cable? They was talking about OJ gonna go. First offense. Well, you can go to prison for that. What the hell? Okay, remember that one? But you all have forgotten that there was another incident. Remember, he had another white girlfriend. And she had come up missing. And her parents had demanded that the apartment folk bust open the front door. And when they opened the front door, they said that her apartment was in a state of disarray. That there was stuff spilled all over the place. And that her cat was dead, and that nobody could get a hold of her. So the apartment supposedly was messed up, the cat was dead, and nobody could get a hold of her. Does anybody remember that incident? And they were talking about OJ's under investigation. He had to call Johnny Cochran and the crew back. He's like, I'll be damned. Go look this up for yourselves. Don't believe me. I remember all of this because I was sitting there living it like, are y'all seriously going to try this? And I was like, this doesn't even sound right. Guess what? A week later, they were able to get a hold of her. She was alive. She was well. She had had an argument with her parents. And she said she didn't really want to fool with them. And they were calling her on the cell phone and she was ignoring them. So she exercised her white privilege, and the police didn't charge her with nothing. She exercised her white privilege. She said she was upset with her parents, and she wasn't. They were upset with her because she was dating O.J. Simpson. And she left home, and she might have gone overseas. I'm not sure where she went. But she had left home and left the cat there and realized she didn't leave enough food for the cat. The cat went crazy after a few days and starved to death. But the cat ripped up the apartment trying to find something to eat because this heifer done run off. Nobody charged her with animal cruelty, by the way. Didn't charge her with animal cruelty or anything. She left the cat there and the cat starved to death. But they didn't give a damn about that. We're white, we say so. OJ, if we can frame you. I mean, if you all doubt how badly they were looking to frame him, they were talking about indicting him on all of this with no evidence. This was how desperate to frame this man they were. And they're telling you all nobody was trying to frame him. I'm showing you 3 cases they were trying to frame him. And then finally came the situation in Vegas. Finally came that. But they were gunning for him the whole damn time. They were gunning for him the whole time. So ultimately, Nicole Brown's screw job eventually got him. Hell, Nicole Brown was able to get O.J. Simpson in jail from the grave. Do you all realize that? Nicole Brown was able to get O.J. Simpson in jail from the grave. She didn't even have to be alive. All she had to do was start it, and the rest of the society would get together and finish it. Remember, the judge in Vegas said, well, his conviction for stealing his own stuff and going to prison, when you think about it, that's really karma. She should have been removed from the bench for saying that. She should have been removed from the bench. When have you all ever heard about somebody on a first offense for a non-violent crime have to serve the whole damn sentence? And they're old, up in age. When the hell y'all ever see that? The judge in Las Vegas, what they hated him for happened in California, but they let you know, oh, nigga, nationwide. White supremacy is nationwide. Well, Nicole is dead. Nigga, she gonna get you in jail posthumously from the grave. Don't sit up here and try to sing the accolades of white women in my ear, knowing full well there's privilege that they can pull out on you. And if your father with his black ass didn't tell you this, you talking about your mom, your father has not served you properly. He done got you all the way over here in America, talking about we Americans, we people. You talking about your mom, your daddy ain't gave you the game on this? And you gonna walk out here and just walk right into the damn jaws of the beast, and oh well, everything's everything, and she's gonna show you something you ain't seeing because you wish to believe, you just wanna believe that fat meat ain't greasy. I'm special. We gonna get in bed. You just wanna see it the way you wanna see it because it serves you to think that way, dude. You better see it the way it is. You better see it the way it is.
Right.
You better see it the way it is. If she gets ready to pull it out
You're right,
on
Jason.
you, that's it. That's your ass. That's your ass. And I've had white attorneys. Who behind closed doors, they will admit that. My white attorneys will be the first ones to tell you, fool, justice ain't blind. Justice is not blind, it's not deaf, and it sees your black ass. That's the reason that the white attorneys I have, that's the reason they're my attorneys, because they will tell you, oh, justice isn't blind. No, sir. When they have to fight criminal cases for me, they know walking in, oh, justice is not blind. Absolutely not. Oh, no, if you go into court and you black, yeah, this is going to be, there are cases, yeah, it's going to be a fight. It sure is. They'll tell you that if they're honest. So nobody's going to sell me on this delusion about this stuff right here. And there's another thing you got to understand something, brother. A white woman can be many things. I'm not saying that white women are bad, white women are evil, white women are this, that, wicked, this, that, and the other. I don't subscribe to that kind of thing, but I am letting you know that white women are white in a society that gives them white privilege and white supremacy, and it's in their interests. If it becomes in her interest to exercise that privilege over you, here it comes. Now, a white woman is never going to understand your experience in a white supremacist society and system. A white woman is never going to understand that. A white woman will never know what it is like to raise a black son in a black family in a nation that targets black people, that targets black males for being black. She's never going to understand that. A white woman is never going to tell your daughters that they are black. She's going to tell them they're mixed. A white woman is never going to see a police shooting and call it white supremacy and march in the streets with the soldiers. She's not going to do that. I only know a couple of white women who would. Jane Elliott, her damn family disowned her. She's not going to do that.
But Jason, let me ask you this. What happens if she has kids by a black man?
And they've been having kids by black men for centuries. What's your point?
Okay.
Heidi Klum had kids by Seal. Ellen Nordegren had kids by Tiger Woods. Scottie Pippen's white wife, didn't she have kids with him? How many names I gotta rattle off? When they got ready to flip, I started the broadcast by letting you know, man, women have kids under any standard. They have kids under any circumstances. You acting like that's some sort of shield? Please. Since when has this society, since when have the white family members of this society ever embraced they little mixed babies? When has that ever happened? Ever. Give me an example of when that's ever happened. Brother, I'm listening. I don't hear nothing. Give it to me. When is it ever
You're right.
occurred?
You're right, Jason. You're right. I don't know what to say. You're right.
Tell y'all right now. Kim Kardashian is going to be cool with them kids and the whole damn family if it serves her. There's a bit of a different dynamic there because her family kind of has an axe to grind against Aryan Europeans, which I understand. But I'm just letting you know right now, you better keep your eye on them. Better keep your eye on them.
Right.
We got entirely too many damn examples here. When them white women get done with their black adventure, they go looking for a white man to come patch up them holes and to get her back right on her whiteness. He won't be the one she in love with, but he's the one who's going to reestablish her white credentials. That's what the hell they do. Shout out Pink. Shout out Pink. For those of you who don't remember, the singer Pink, she wasn't dealing with nothing but black men. And I'll give her credit for standing up for Black Lives Matter, but when it was time for her to marry, you see what she did. You see what she did.
Right.
She's like, yeah, I remember where I came from, but my legacy is going to be over here with Brad. It's going to be over here. And I'm not hating on it. By the way, and I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on that.
Right.
She can do whatever she wants to in that regard. I'm not hating on it. I'm saying to you, do you understand why that was predictable, that was really the only logical conclusion? I'm not upset with her because I never had the expectation that she was ever going to do anything different. With all the people bandying all the black men that she has slept with in front of me. I'm like, you know how this is going to turn out, right? Shout out Miley Cyrus. Right. Shout out Katy Perry. You know how this is going to turn out, though, right? No, bruh, she digged the brothers. Okay, you niggas is willfully blind. Watch how this turns out. And then fools want to sit up here and act shocked and surprised. How was it ever going to end any other way?
Jason, easy said and done. You know, when these white women with these asses now and with the money, it's hard, Jason. You know, when you're just throwing it at you, it's very difficult.
A smart man doesn't get swayed by breasts and rear ends. A smart man is practical. If you're a man who is still swayed by a woman's ass, you're too immature to survive. If you can be distracted, if I can distract you with a woman's ass like swinging a watch to hypnotize somebody, you are going to be too easily annihilated. At some point, a grown man is supposed to be like, yeah, that don't sway me. What's really going on? Think about what you just said for a moment. Do you realize how many black males have signed bad record deals because they brought in some white chick with ass implants and this nigga is salivating at the mouth because he ain't never had an opportunity for that. So some chick with ass implants done got, and the white men did this because she's their wedge. Now that he's distracted and desperate, he'll sign anything they put in front of him. So he's signed away his masters and his publishing. He's so busy watching the white girl's ass that he's not even paying attention to the white men's contract sitting in front of him. That's been going on for decades. Decades. Why do you think they called it Cadillac Records? They had cars, they had cocaine, and they had Caucasian women. The 3 C's. And they signed away hundreds of millions of dollars in equity talking about, boys, is a not white chick with a big ass. It ain't even real. I don't care. So if it really mattered to you, you would at least want one that was authentic. It ain't got to be authentic. Amazing how those standards drop when it's a white woman we assign it to. A white woman can have fake breasts, fake lips, fake ass, just fake every damn thing. For a black woman, though, it's like, she doing too much. So we sure do love giving them a pass, but just understand, if you're that easily distracted, or if that starts becoming a negotiating tactic or a bargaining chip, just understand you might be a little bit too immature to make it out here. If that's all it takes to take you off the game and off the square, and that even becomes a discussion, I know they're going to be able to distract you now. I know the bad guys are going to be able to get you to stop looking at what they're doing. I don't think they will. I know they will. I know they will.
Well, thank you so much, Jason. Thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate what you do. Be one. Love you.
Trying to help these young fellas out here about this, man. They ain't got gamed up. He was complaining about his mom. I'm looking at his dad. I'm like, hey, where's the male example that's supposed to be letting you know what's going on? Where's he at? I don't know. You know, and this is messed up. I'm like, okay, dude. Y'all, he's going to walk off into that. He's going to walk off into it and ain't even going to see it coming. He's going to walk off into this and won't even see it coming. He's going to be looking at us after the hammer drops on him. He's going to be looking at us like, man, how did it happen? I'm just trying to tell you up front. I got fellas tonight. I got 25-year-olds chasing hood rats. I got 35-year-olds chasing nonsenses. This is why we gotta have the business. This is why we gotta have the business, because I gotta straighten all of this out. I got my work cut out for me. I gotta straighten all of this out. I can't let y'all keep going around like with stuff like this being said. And then you have to remember, for those of us who are older, you got to remember the O.J. Simpson trial was 25 years ago. The O.J. Simpson trial was 25 years ago. You have a bunch of completely fully grown people who are 20, 25, 30 years old. They don't even have a frame of reference for the, quote, trial of the century. If they don't watch a movie, they don't know what was going on. They don't remember that it was wall-to-wall coverage every day and the media canceled everything else to cover that trial every single day. They don't know anything like that. They didn't watch it unfold. They didn't see how the media went crazy on TV. Remember, most of them grew up with getting their news from Yahoo on the internet or Facebook. They didn't grow up watching television to get their news. So they didn't see it. They didn't experience it the way we did. So all of this, they don't really understand how it went down. They don't understand it. So we got to tell them what the real happened. We have to remind them about the trial, remind them about the planting of the glove, remind them about Mark Furman and the tapes where he was talking about how he hated niggas and he loved setting them up and planting evidence, and that's how they lost the case. Because the white folk at the school aren't going to tell him that part. They're not going to remind him about the tapes. And if you bring up the tapes, they're going to tell you, well, that was blown out of proportion. The bastard just admitted that he was framing people before and that he would continue framing them, but you'll have white folk telling them that don't matter. That's what your kids are being told. You give them incontrovertible evidence, and then they get hit with I'm white and I say so. Oh, them tapes don't really matter. The lead detective admitting that he has a history of framing black people for being black and outright saying nigger on tape, that don't matter. That's what they're going to tell your kids. So if they don't come here and listen to us, remind them. They don't know. And then remind them that, by the way, and you remember, even if you know about the trial, did you know about the bootloader? And did you know about the girlfriend and the dead cat? Do you know that? So we got to make it a point to remind them and keep reminding them. We got to keep reminding them and keep them on their toes about this. This is why I do the business. It's a huge educational effort, but this is why I do it. If you are new here to the business, welcome. We're laying down the game. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button on my YouTube channel, you need to do that. If you're not a subscriber to my Patreon, where we keep a lot of the stuff where we can't really put out on YouTube like that, so we're avoiding getting harassed. There's a reason why people love what we're doing. You'll want to be a part of that as well. Go ahead and check it out. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will handle you.